Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
פרק ו' ויהי כי החל האדם לרוב על פני האדמה, ובנות יולדו להם. ויראו בני האלוהים את בנות האדם, כי טובות הן, ויקחו להם נשים מכל אשר בחרו. ויאמר אדוני, לא ידון רוחי באדם לעולם, ושגם הוא בשר. והיו ימיו 120 שנה. הנפילים היו בארץ בימים ההם, וגם אחרי כן, אשר יבואו בני האלוהים אל בנות האדם, וילדו להם. המה הגיבורים אשר מעולם אנשי השם. וירא אדוני, כי רבה רעת האדם בארץ, וכל יצר מחשבות ליבו, רק רע כל היום. וינחם אדוני, כי עשה את האדם בארץ, ויתעצב אל ליבו. ויאמר אדוני, אמחה את האדם אשר בראתי מעל פני האדמה, מאדם עד בהמה, עד רמס ועד עוף השמיים, כי ניחמתי, כי עשיתים. ונוח מצא חן בעיני אדוני. אלה תולדות נוח. נוח איש צדיק תמים היה בדורותיו. את האלוהים התהלך נוח. ויולד נוח 3 בנים, את שם, את חם ואת יפת. ותשחט הארץ לפני האלוהים, ותמלא הארץ חמס. וירא אלוהים את הארץ, והנה נשחטה, כי השחית כל בשר את דרכו על הארץ. ויאמר אלוהים לנוח, קץ כל בשר בא לפני, כי מלאה הארץ חמס מפניהם, והנני משחיתם את הארץ. עשה לך תיבת עצי גופר, קינים תעשה את התיבה, וחפרת אותה מבית ומחוץ בכופר. וזה אשר תעשה אותה, 300 אמה אורך התיבה, 50 אמה רוחבה, ו30 אמה קומתה. צוהר תעשה לתיבה, ואל אמה תכלנה מלמעלה, ופתח התיבה בצידה תשים, תחתיים, שניים ושלישים תעשה. ואני, הנני מביא את המבול מים על הארץ, לשחט כל בשר, אשר בו רוח חיים, מתחת השמיים, כל אשר בארץ יגבע. והקימותי את בריתי איתך, ובאת אל התיבה, אתה ובניך באשתך ונשי בניך איתך. ומכל החי, מכל בשר, 2 מכל תביא אל התיבה להחיות איתך. זכר ונקבה יהיו, מהעוף למינהו, ומן הבהמה למינה, מכל רמס האדמה למינהו. 2 מכל יבואו אליך להחיות. ועתה קח לך מכל מאכל אשר יאכל, ואספת אליך, והיה לך ולהם לאוכלה. ויעש נוח ככל אשר ציווה אותו אלוהים, כן עשה. פרק ז'. ויאמר אדוני לנוח, בוא אתה וכל ביתך אל התיבה, כי אותך ראיתי צדיק לפני בדור הזה. מכל הבהמה הטהורה, תיקח לך 7 איש ואשתו, ומן הבהמה אשר לא טהורה היא 2 איש ואשתו. גם מעוף השמיים 7 זכר ונקבה, לחיות זרע על פני כל הארץ. כי לימים עוד 7 אנוכי ממטיר על הארץ 40 יום ו40 לילה, ומחיתי את כל היקום אשר עשיתי מעל פני האדמה. ויעש נוח ככל אשר ציווהו אדוני. ונוח בן 600 שנה, והמבול היה מים על הארץ. ויבוא נוח ובניו ואשתו ונשי בניו איתו אל התיבה, מפני מי המבול. מן הבהמה הטהורה, ומן הבהמה אשר איננה טהורה, ומן העוף, וכל אשר רומס על האדמה. 2 באו אל נוח אל התיבה, זכר ונקבה, כאשר ציווה אלוהים את נוח. ויהי ל7 הימים, ומי המבול היו על הארץ. בשנת 600 שנה לחיי נוח, בחודש השני, ב17 יום לחודש, ביום הזה נבקעו כל מעיינות תהום רבה, וערובות השמיים נפתחו. ויהי הגשם על הארץ 40 יום ו40 לילה. בעצם היום הזה בא נוח בשם וחם ויפת בני נוח, ואשת נוח, ו3 נשי בניו איתם אל התיבה. המה וכל החיה למינה, וכל הבהמה למינה, וכל הרומס על הארץ למינהו, וכל העוף למינהו, כל ציפור, כל כנף. ויבואו אל נוח אל התיבה, 2 מכל הבשר, אשר בו רוח חיים. והבאים, זכר ונקבה מכל בשר באו, כאשר ציווה אותו אלוהים. ויסגור אדוני בעדו. ויהי המבול 40 יום על הארץ, וירבו המים, ויסעו את התיבה, ותרום מעל הארץ. ויגברו המים, וירבו מאוד על הארץ, ותלך התיבה על פני המים. והמים גברו מאוד מאוד על הארץ, ויחוסו כל ההרים הגבוהים, אשר תחת כל השמיים. 15 אמה מלמעלה, גברו המים, ויחוסו ההרים. ויגבה כל בשר, הרומס על הארץ, בעוף ובבהמה ובחיה, ובכל השרץ השורץ על הארץ, בכל האדם. כל אשר נשמת רוח חיים באפיו, מכל אשר בחרבה מתו. וימח את כל היקום אשר על פני האדמה, מאדם עד בהמה, עד רמס ועד עוף השמיים, וימחו מן הארץ, וישאר אך נוח באשר איתו בתיבה. ויגברו המים על הארץ 50 יום. פרק ח'. ויזכור אלוהים את נוח, ואת כל החיה ואת כל הבהמה, אשר איתו בתיבה. ויעבר אלוהים רוח על הארץ, וישוקו המים. ויסחרו מעיינות תהום, וארובות השמיים, ויקלה הגשם מן השמיים. וישובו המים מעל הארץ הלוך ושוב, ויחסרו המים, מקצה 50 יום. ותנח התיבה בחודש השביעי, ב17 יום לחודש, על הרי עררת. והמים היו הלוך וחסור עד החודש העשירי. בעשירי, באחד לחודש, נראו ראשי ההרים. ויהי מקץ 40 יום, ויפתח נוח את חלון התיבה אשר עשה. וישלח את העורב, ויצא יצא ושוב עד יבושת המים מעל הארץ. וישלח את היונה מאיתו, לראות הקלו המים מעל פני האדמה. ולא מצאה היונה מנוח לכף רגלה. ותשוב אליו אל התיבה, כי מים על פני כל הארץ. וישלח ידו, ויקחיה, ויעבר אותה אליו, אל התיבה. ויחל עוד 7 ימים אחרים, ויוסף שלח את היונה מן התיבה. ותבוא אליו היונה לעת ערב, והנה עלה זית טרף בפיה. וידע נוח, כי קלו המים מעל הארץ. וייחל עוד 7 ימים אחרים, וישלח את היונה, ולא יספה שוב אליו עוד. ויהי ב1,600 שנה, בראשון ב1 לחודש, חרבו המים מעל הארץ. ויסר נוח את מכסה התיבה, וירא, והנה חרבו פני האדמה. ובחודש השני, ב27 יום לחודש, יבשה הארץ. וידבר אלוהים אל נוח לאמור, צא מן התיבה, אתה ואשתך ובניך ונשי בניך איתך. כל החיה אשר איתך מכל בשר, בעוף ובבהמה, ובכל הרמס הרומס על הארץ, היצא איתך, ושרצו בארץ, ופרו ורבו על הארץ. ויצא נוח, ובניו ואשתו ונשי בניו איתו. כל החיה, כל הרמס וכל העוף, כל רומס על הארץ, למשפחותיהם, יצאו מן התיבה. ויבן נוח מזבח לאדוני, ויקח מכל הבהמה הטהורה, ומכל העוף הטהור, ויעל עולות במזבח. וירח אדוני את ריח הניחוח, ויאמר אדוני אל ליבו, לא אוסיף לקלל עוד את האדמה בעבור האדם, כי יצר לב האדם רע מנעוריו, ולא אוסיף עוד להכות את כל חי כאשר עשיתי. עוד כל ימי הארץ, זרע וקציר, וקור וחום, וקיץ וחורף, ויום ולילה, לא ישבותו. פרק ט'. ויברך אלוהים את נוח ואת בניו, ויאמר להם, פרו ורבו ומילאו את הארץ, ומוראכם וחיתכם יהיה, על כל חיית הארץ, ועל כל עוף השמיים, בכל אשר תרמוס האדמה, ובכל דגי הים בידכם ניתן. כל רמס אשר הוא חי, לכם יהיה לאוכלה, כירק עשב, נתתי לכם את כל. אך בשר בנפשו דמו לא תאכלו, ואך את דמכם לנפשותיכם אדרוש, מיד כל חיה אדרשנו, ומיד האדם, מיד איש אחיו, אדרוש את נפש האדם. שופך דם האדם, באדם דמו ישפך, כי בצלם אלוהים עשה את האדם. ואתם פרו ורבו, שרצו בארץ ורבו בה. ויאמר אלוהים אל נוח, ואל בניו איתו לאמור, ואני הנני מקים את בריתי איתכם, ואת זרעכם אחריכם, ואת כל נפש החיה אשר איתכם, בעוף, בבהמה, ובכל חיית הארץ איתכם, מכל יוצאי התיבה, לכל חיית הארץ. והתימותי את בריתי איתכם, ולא יכרת כל בשר עוד ממי המבול, ולא יהיה עוד מבול לשחט הארץ. ואומר אלוהים, זאת אות הברית אשר אני נותן ביני וביניכם ובין כל נפש חיה אשר תיתכם לדורות עולם. את קשתי נתתי בענן, והייתה לאות ברית ביני ובין הארץ. והיה בענני ענן על הארץ, ונראתה הקשת בענן. וזכרתי את בריתי, אשר ביני וביניכם, ובין כל נפש חיה בכל בשר, ולא יהיה עוד המים למבול לשחט כל בשר. והייתה הקשת בענן, וראיתיה לזכור ברית עולם בין אלוהים ובין כל נפש חיה בכל בשר אשר על הארץ. ויאמר,
Right? Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. So once again, you're now under the sounds of the voice, should I say the voices of the true disciples of Christ. Shabbat service, Bible study. And this is Yahweh's word. First of all, giving all praises to the Supreme Elohim of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His proper name is Yahweh. All praises due to Yahweh while Yahweh Shy. Some of you may say Yahuwah and Yahusha. All praises. So, today we're going to talk about a topic I was actually discussing last night about simp men and Jekyll and Hyde borderline personality disorder women. Now, whereas there are men that could be borderline personality disorders, primarily according to DSM-4, it's women. Now, as I stated, after there was a deluge of females that came into the psychiatry and psychology industry, they changed that in the DSM-5. In fact, they changed it because of feminism, because feminism has hit the psychology field as well. To those of you that don't think so, go and check it out for yourselves. So as feminism came into that particular industry, they removed several titles that they said was actually offensive towards women. And there's a lot of you men, you're not on the call yet, you're in the background. You have a history of dealing with a borderline woman. You may or may not be aware, but most of you that's aware, you can't break away because they have you sprung and you're pussy whipped. Basically, you're pussy whipped. And so we're going to go into that. You can't get, you cannot get beyond how beautiful you think she is, how attractive you think she is. And you guys keep falling out. So, today we're going to go into it. Daryl Suber, listen up. Before we get started, is there any of the Akim on the call that have anything they would actually like to add to my soliloquy before we get started here?
Shabbat Shalom, family. All praise to the Most High, and looking forward to today's message.
Where's Malcolm?
He just fell out. He was in a second ago.
He was?
Gone, or it looked like it. There's 5.
All right.
Shabbat Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And, only thing I would add is, I'm grateful that you're, putting this awareness out there, because for the longest time, myself personally, I couldn't tell the difference between, bipolar and borderline and this and that. And, they all have their own expressions and manifestations, and they all have their own ways of being dealt with, especially if you're already involved with someone, and especially if you don't know how to, see these things as they come out. So appreciative for all the information you're bringing out.
Come. The water. And there is a difference, believe it or not. It's a major difference between bipolar, and the borderline. The borderline personality is actually classified by many psychiatrists and psychologists as the worst disorder there is. The borderline personality disorder.
Come on. Shabbat Shalom. Call all Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. I've been with a couple borderlines myself. Didn't really know what the exact description of them was, but I knew something was off. So this would be a good lesson for all the Akim to understand what they're dealing with, because dealing with a borderline, it brings hell.
Thumbs up as you come in the room. Now, here's the thing, Benaiah. There's a lot of men, Akim, that is with women. They know something's wrong with the woman, but they're too caught up on how she looked to put her away, to let her go. And this happens on a large scale. I'm talking about dudes that's in so-called truth, right? I told him, listen, man, I'm affiliated with what your wife is going through, and she's a borderline. And so the smartest thing that you could actually do is to say goodbye to crazy. Man, that's my wife, man. What are you saying, man? I said, yeah, but she committed adultery on you. She was trying to kick it to me. Nigga, you just jealous, man. All right, he showed out at a bookstore, man. Broke the guy's stuff up in the bookstore, man. Guy had to call the cops on him, owner of the bookstore. Then he ran in the middle of the street. Just let me die then. I want to die. Because she didn't want him, man. And, I had to let her down like, listen, man, I wouldn't get down like that if I could. You know what I mean? You're a scum of the earth. Your so-called man is right there, and you try and kick it to me? And you already committed adultery on him. But he trying to justify it, man. She ain't going nowhere because I don't do things sexually to her that other men are not going to do. Now, that's a simp to the highest degree. And so what happens when you remain around borderlines too long, you are not only what is known as an enabler, right? You become an enabler to their behavior so they never get away from it. And you also become a codependent, right? You become a codependent. And if you stay there long enough, you become a full-blown borderline. The man becomes a borderline as well. And many of these men, you see them come on this call, man. Many of these men, they got borderline, man. You can see how they act. They get in their emotions over little things. Get disgruntled. I said, calm down, brother. You get really effeminate right now. It's because they was raised by women that was damaged goods. So let me put a disclaimer out there. Go ahead. This is not medical advice. None of us on this call offers medical advice. If you need medical advice, then seek yourself a medical doctor, a psychiatrist, or a psychologist. This is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It is not to be taken as medical advice. That's out there. Malakah. Thumbs up as you come in the room, folks. Thumbs up as you come in the room. Have you actually ever dealt with a borderline, or you're not even familiar with what this is?
If I know the definition, then I can give an accurate answer, but I'm not sure what that is exactly.
Yeah, so he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know what it is. So sounds like, well, since you don't know what it is, I'll tell you this, brother. You are with a borderline, in my opinion. The woman that you're currently undergoing a divorce with, her characteristics, the thing that she did, is a borderline. See, one of the things that people don't realize about a borderline is they engage in risky, impulsive behavior. The impulsive behavior could entail spending all the money, spending the rent money, and then saying she's sorry for it. But she also gets involved in risky sexual behavior. Risky sexual behavior. You understand? So she'll go out, she'll have sex with someone, and then even if she's caught in the act, she'll act as if she's done nothing wrong. But if you do it, she'll tell you what a horrible, wicked, worthless, useless person you are. Those are characteristics of a borderline. You know, a borderline, she'll be in a marriage and she'll go and get pregnant by another man and then tell you it's your fault because you didn't treat her right. Those are the characteristics of a borderline. That's the risky sexual behavior. And then she believes that you're obliged to still remain with her. This is a whole different kind of sickness. But I'm gonna tell you, man, it's on a socio level. So the borderline can get help, right? But most of them choose not to because they are in a denial stage. So most borderlines won't get help because they deny that something's wrong with them. And if you call it to their attention, they would tell you that they're not the problem, you're the problem. And then they was fine until you came into. Sounds familiar, Yashabi? Any of these words sound familiar to you? They were fine until you came into their life.
Khan, all too familiar. Put it out there, thank the Most High for Khan Tazadaq. He actually definitely helped me get out of a situation by shedding light on these same statistics and the changes inside the DSM manual. Because I probably was a codependent at one point in time in a previous marriage. And I thought I was the part of the problem because that's what I was convinced of by the counselors, by the woman. And I had some really extreme rules that I had to put in place in order to interact with her. Come to find out, all these rules that I had in place is stuff that really should have been taking place already. I'm not going to talk to you if you're yelling, get out of my face, if, throwing things and all that kind of stuff. And then in public, I would just completely shut down and not deal with her at all. And, walk way ahead. She act like she got like a bad attitude. And these attitudes, they're pretty extreme, just like Tazadaq is putting out there. So I've been made to feel that these rules that I put in that relationship was bad, not only by my ex-wife, but also by the counselors. But then come to find out, looking at all this information and coming across Tazadaq's channel, I was right for doing that. The only thing I didn't do, was put her away for going extreme. And when I say going extreme, talking about tearing down the house, putting holes in walls, playing bumper cars, on the road because I want to go work and she want me to come home with the kids in the car. I mean, all types of crazy things. Always threaten me with divorce. And when I agree with it, she said, why are you going to leave? You're not going to fight for me. All this other kind of BS that just didn't make any sense, But, side note, the counselors, being part of that Christian drug, have me in that thing for about 12 and a half years. Never again. Never, ever again. So y'all listen close.
The problem with counselors, even the ones that's in the psychiatry industry, what most people don't realize is that a lot of people that study psychiatry, the reason they decided to study psychiatry is because they already had issues in their lives. And I believe it's about 50% of people that go to school for psychiatry and psychology are on medication themselves. So essentially, you're taking information from someone that's actually medicated. You're taking information from someone that is, under influence other than their own. And some of these people have personality disorders. That's the problem. And I think it's called Section 51 or something like that. When there was a deluge of women that came into the psychiatry industry, that's when they started to change things around in the DSM manual. When a lot of the feminist ideology came into the psychiatry industry. And when they did, they said, well, let's take out passively aggressive personality disorder and things of that nature, because a lot of women are passively aggressive, right? They attack men and all of that. And so what probably, I don't know if Yashabin went through this, but sometimes the psychiatrist would tell you you should you should give her a little leeway. She should be allowed to do that. You're her husband, but if it was in the reverse, and these women, they'll do things, they'll key your car. Listen, come on, guys, man. Like this damn dumbass guy, this Quantus Lewis, right? The damn woman keyed your car, man. Get the hell out. Why are you waiting around? Then he waited around until he literally caught her in the bed with another man in his house. Man, you don't know that it's a damn borderline. Then she locked him out of his own house. He broke the window to get in. She called the cops. She got another man in his bed. Now, this woman, mind you, is not paying any rent. She's not paying for anything. She doesn't work. But in her mind, as a borderline, she saw no wrong. She believed that he was wrong. She said, you drove me to doing this. See, the borderline, that's one of the things with the borderline. You are never right. They are always right. If you, at any given day with a borderline, if they're right, if you tell them they're right about 15 things, and that 16th thing you tell them they wrong, boy, you just caught hell. You just caught hell, man. Hey, Prez, that link is in your email. I sent it to you and David. You just caught hell, man. So pay attention. I'm doing this for a reason, because this is getting worse. There's been an influx of this going up. And because we're residing within a feminist society, they're getting passes. They're getting passes. Women, stop me where I'm lying at. Some of you men have literally called the police because your woman got out of control. And, it's bullshit when someone tells you, no matter what someone says to you, you don't have a right to put their hands on. Some of these women know how to push your triggers to make you want to hit them. Understand that, man. So if you're with a woman like that, you need to get the hell away from her, man. Put her away. Because it's not going to end well for you. They're going to blame you. They're going to tell you there's no reason for you to ever touch her.
Con, they did that. They did that to me too. When I came, do you mind? Con?
No, good.
So when I came back from Iraq, I was at home, and at that time, my ex was going to school and doing like an internship or whatever at this daycare. So I kept the house clean. I spent time with my son, and she would come home and be mad because I kept the house clean. I did her job, and she would spaz out. And then went to the counselors on that one. She said, "Oh well, don't do her job, make me feel like less of a woman." I leave. I'm outside the house. I don't remember what I was doing. I come back probably like 2-3 hours later. She's yelling and screaming, looking at me out the side of her eye, and being real protective as if she's in some type of danger, And then the long and short of it, by the end of the night, it came out, well, I was watching America's Most Wanted, and, this guy, killed his wife and his kids and all that. So now I'm being treated like a criminal because of what she was sitting around watching on TV all day,
Right.
Counselors, squash that. She's throwing fits. Oh, well, we don't go out enough. So started taking her out to eat. I became really aware, self-aware of my body language, my thoughts and everything, so much to the point. And when it came time for the borderline to make changes, immediately after that, she no longer wanted to continue to go to counseling because it was no longer on me fixing myself, my leadership style, and me being socio-emotional aware. When it came time for her, and she wanted to drop it, and then the counselors didn't want to have anything really to do with me anymore at that point, because the woman didn't want to be, didn't want to go. They were like okay with that, but I was coerced and somewhat harassed into going to counseling in that regard. So it's definitely an attack, and it's active. And that was back in 2009, 2010 time frame. Thinking and convinced that I'm doing, that which is right. Oh no. Please do get a second opinion and get up on these scriptures and in these calls, because it is real. I lived it.
Praise, your device is not connecting when you attempted to come in the room. The woman that I just had on the screen, she made a big fuss because she attended the airline in that attire. She tried to get on a Southwest flight, and they refused to let her on because, the staff told her she did not have enough clothing on, and other people was going to take offensive to it. She made a big hoopla about it, that she should be able to get on. I mean, someone get the book of Proverbs, the 7th chapter. Proverbs, the 7th chapter, and go down to the section where it says a woman in the attire of a harlot. This is what offended the people. Now she tried to justify it. Her clothing. They told her. I mean, the woman, she's damn near naked. There's no room in those clothes for imagination, especially the top portion. Now, when a woman comes outside like this, style like this, and you have a system that tried to defend this, what have we become? What have our women become when their thinking is so abased that they will literally argue with someone who owns a private business like Southwest Airlines because they don't want her to avoid a flight like this? Look at this, man. This is the new norm. Someone got that precept in Proverbs?
Khan. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and the subtle of heart.
Now, Benaiah, if you saw this woman right here walking down the streets past you, would your first impression be that this woman is a devout Christian? What would you think of a woman that passed you like this? Would you think, now let's be realistic. Would you think her being dressed like this is that she's tried to withdraw attention from her?
Oh, she's trying to attract as much attention as possible. Probably bugged out her mind on some type of antidepressants. Bleached blonde hair, pretty much butt naked. Just put some damn clothes on. She's trying to attract as much attention as possible.
Praise, your device is still not connecting. Very well. We're going to get David to read an article here that I have pulled up. 1 second. Of course, he's an excellent reader. Now, before doing so, let's get another precept here. Let's get Proverbs 31 and 3. I need all of you simp men to pay attention today. Pay attention. Let's get Proverbs chapter 31, verse 3. All of you simps, you're going to have to stop fronting. And if this applies to you, man, you really need to eat it. You really need to pay attention today, because things won't get any better for you, man, by you lying to yourself and lying to others.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways that which destroyeth kings.
Okay, so the scripture says, give not thy strength to women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. So the scriptures is letting you know right there that women can destroy kings and have done so. It was women that destroyed King Solomon. His tranquility got taken away because of women. Now, here's the woman. David.
Khan.
Can I get you to read this? Can you see this?
Woman forced to wear pilot's t-shirt after staff deemed her outfit lewd, obscene, and offensive.
Okay. Now this took place on Southwest Airlines. She got on with this. Well, she attempted to get on like this. Proverbs 7, verse 10. But the staff only allowed her to get on after the pilot gave her his t-shirt. So let me say this, sisters. When Adam and Eve was in the garden and their eyes became over and they had the knowledge of good and evil, they became civilized of bad things and they covered themselves with clothing. They didn't walk around like this. They covered themselves. What does that go to say? That society is becoming extremely degenerate. And you can get mad all you want to, but this is truth and you need to hear this. Okay.
Southwest Airlines did not permit Kayla Eubanks to board her flight on account of her outfit.
Okay.
Eubanks documented her experience on Twitter as she wrote to Southwest Airlines deemed her outfit to be lewd, obscene, and offensive. She was told that she would not be allowed to board the plane until she put on more clothes. It was only after she had borrowed the pilot's t-shirt that she was allowed to get on the plane. Kayla Eubanks claims that the Southwest Airlines was trying to police her body.
Now, what society? What has this society degenerated in when someone has to tell a grown adult woman that is not the proper attire to wear around mature people? Of course, unless you're adorned in the attire of a harlot and you have other purposes in mind. Here's one of her tweets. Well, let's start right here. The female passenger was outraged when she was not permitted to board the plane because of her outfit. Why was she so astonished, David? I'm finding this exceedingly difficult to understand. Why was she so astonished? She was outraged. She was outraged because she could not go on with the attire of a harlot, according to the Bible. Eubanks was wearing a long short skirt and a low-cut black halter top, which the airline deemed to be lewd, obscene, and offensive. In addition to this, she was told that her attire allegedly contraved the airline's dress code. Eubanks documented her experience in a thread on Twitter as she posted the following. Can you read that, David? Now, she's pissed off like, they done something wrong.
Y'all, I was kicked off my Southwest Air flight because my boobs are lewd and offensive. I was told the passengers may look at my attire and be offended. The attire in question.
Now, you know what's sickening, Akim? When you get to such a degenerate state that you don't see anything wrong with this publicly. Well, I mean, if there was any babies on the plane, they probably would have wanted to be nursed.
Come on.
Every time their mother's boobs comes out, you know what I mean, they want milk.
Come on.
So the babies probably would have started crying, man, because they want one of those breasts. I mean, it's already exposed. The only thing you can't see right there is the nipple. But people are not supposed to have a problem with this. That shows you how this society has degenerated. Now, what if Eubanks is a borderline personality disorder? She very well can be having a problem with covering herself properly and take offense when someone's trying to make note, hey, well, you shouldn't be in public like this. We cannot allow you to board our airline semi-nude. I'm saying this to you guys, if a woman will not give you her best years, you have no obligation to be there for her at a worst. Stop simping. What's meant by that? Many of you, you're with a woman that if she had met you 10 years ago, when she was much younger, she would have had no interest in you. You don't realize this, but you are going to learn today. I compel you to open up your mind with right knowledge. You're compelled to do so. That same woman would have had no interest in you 10 years ago. Why? Because right now you're just being a simp. She's been on a carousel. Her vajayjay is worn out and stretched all over the place. And now she finds a simp to settle down with. She didn't give you the best years of her life. You're getting something that's been ran through more times than the Lincoln Tunnel. And you know how much traffic from New York and New Jersey goes through the Lincoln Tunnel on a daily basis. That's what you're getting. Think about it, folks. You men, you're going to stop simping, man. Let's read some of this. Someone read that. Now, the other ones, you other simps, you're chasing these video vixens. Real men do not sit online and watch women strip. If you're in the sounds of our voice today and you're doing this, you have a damn problem. You have a real serious problem, guy. You have a serious damn problem, and someone needs to tell you, and it may as well be me. And I don't give a damn if you get mad. Can I get someone to read that? Can someone see that?
Khan, why cyber simping?
David can see that.
Khan, why cyber simping is an energy drain for men.
Cyber simping. What is that? That's you guys that go on. Something, I'm telling you something, man. There's a lot of guys that's in the so-called truth. You're not in the truth. You're in your truth. And you come on here, and you before you just came on here, you just finished whacking off the porn, or you just finished watching one of these video vixens like this. You're cyber simping. It's like an energy drink. You know how they get that boost? Simping, watching a lewd woman turns them on just like an energy drink, gives them a rush. But it gives him a rush from the neck, from the waist down. For about 2 minutes, then he's done. Go ahead, Yashabin.
Wow. Another Instagram pic of a thought. Why should I like your pic? What have you done for me? Are you going to give me the attention that I want, or are you trying to get my attention? You're only using me.
The simps don't think this. So these questions have to be there. The simps don't think this. She's trying to get your attention and get in your pocket, you dodo. Go ahead, Yashibin.
You're only using me for my energy, and once you get my likes, you'll not give a about me.
Do you simps get that? Once you get your likes, she's not going to give a F-U-C-K about you and get your little money. Do you understand that, boy? You're nothing but a codependent. All right? See, you've been insulted too much in your life. I'm talking to you men right now. You have daddy issues and mommy issues. Your mom told you was no good. She said you remind me too much of your damn father. And so you feel like you're nothing. You grew up feeling like you're nothing. So you got to do stuff like this. You got to go and chase women like this. You chase broads like this because there's something deficient in your life. You don't feel confident enough that you could actually literally attract a real woman in person. So you cyber simp. And she's using you for your energy. Just like I use these debtors that come and give me thumbs down, man. I use you for your energy, just like I told you, man. Keep doing it, man. Keep giving it thumbs down, man. Either way, man, you're still causing a channel to get views. Go ahead, Yashibin.
You just want my likes for your status. So get lost. No likes for you. Men, stop liking females on Instagram, Facebook, I think it says Tumblr, and etc. Let females work for your attention so they'll appreciate it more.
Yeah, we're trying to teach you men how to be high-value real men. And again, over the next week, my new book shall be out. A Spokesman for Men. A spokesman for men. And the book is going to teach you how to be a high-value male, how to really be a chick magnet, right? How to create attraction and make the woman want to approach you. How not to be a simp, a loser, and always chasing a woman. How to acknowledge yourself as being the prize. And also for you guys out there that was in a relationship and you still want to be with that woman from the past, how to get your ex back and keep her if you really want her. It's going to teach you how to attract very attractive women and keep them. Because a lot of you get the first date, but she doesn't want you anymore after the first date because she loses attraction because you do or you say something or both to turn her off. So all you out there, you fronting, like you need this knowledge, man. You need this knowledge. So you don't have to be a simp unless you just want to. The 11th TDOC commandment is thou shalt not sin. Thou shalt not sin. We do the 10 commandments, but the 11th one is thou shalt not sin. So if you're simping, you're sinning. Right? And in reality, you really are. We just read Proverbs 31:3. Give not their strength to women, nor, if you're a so-called king, she's going to destroy you. You understand that? Simpleton. Thou shalt not sin. So the book's going to be out within the next week and a half. It's called A Spokesman for Men. Why for men? Because female have all kind of organizations backing them, all sorts of support. No one's really there for the men. And the other thing is I'm going to tell you guys this, man. Stop listening to these damn effeminate guys and they got plenty of views, Yashibin. These effeminate men on YouTube trying to tell you how to pick up women. They're reading they writing about my life. They're writing about the life of a real masculine man. Because half of these dudes that saying this, you can see them, they very effeminate. They talk real soft. Oh, yeah, I'm a real man. And so they're using their money to attract the women. The only kind of women you're really getting like that is these materialistic whores, man. You understand? Because if a woman's with you for a while, she's going to get used to that. say, damn, man, I don't really like this guy. Why am I really with him? So, I mean, you should feel insulted to do stuff like that, but you don't, because you're fronting as well. So this is real men stuff right here, man. Real alpha male stuff, right? Not no dude reading from some book or something and pretending he's living that life. Come on, my guy, stop playing. You talking about and plenty of people watch these kind of dudes. They watch him and really, you can look at these dudes, man. See, these dudes ain't really living like that, man. They might have bread, but anyone could become rich overnight. You guys got to acknowledge that. In this kind of industry, a female, this chick on the screen right here, could go and do an OnlyFans page and become rich overnight. Look at the one that got what? Y'all should be $1 million in 6 hours?
Yeah,
So
that was crazy.
wise up. You gotta wise up, man. Just because a lot of these guys, you know, they got money, man. They got fame real fast overnight, man. But they're not real dudes, man. I'm telling you, this society are building effeminate men. Their attempt is to emasculate real men, real masculine men. They want to emasculate you. Again, you see all kind of men on them people timeline. They come on here, they gossiping, they're in their emotions. Real man, dudes ain't supposed to behave like that, man. That's a broad, man. You got too much feminine energy. And when I tell you that, you get deeper in your emotions. You go on and on and on. It's not supposed to be like that, man. So cop the new book, man. A Spokesman for Men. I'm going to have it on the website, but I'm also going to have it on Amazon. But you're going to get a better discount from the website as usual, right? Talking about real life stuff, man. And if you apply this, it will work. But you got to read the book at least 10 times. At least 10. But it's real life things, man, that I applied and I know it works. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't care if a broad go and read the book. It's not going to stop it, right? Because attraction is not a choice. And you got women listening right now, right? There's women that come on here right now, man, and they fool you guys and they pretend I don't like type. Man, a lot of these chicks, a lot of these broads be feeling me, man. When they come on here, man. I understand this. I understand how attraction works, man. And there's nothing they could do to resist it but lie. But how many times has a woman lied? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, right? A woman I tell you a lie like, it doesn't really matter to me how a man looks. It's how he treat me. Does he make me laugh? Can he provide for me? And so on and so forth, right? And then, you know, you sitting down with her, and then you see a dork over there with big ass glasses, look real nerdy, right? And you say, well, what about that guy right there? You like him? Then she'll turn right around and say, no, he's not my type. You see what I'm saying? Reinforcing that women don't know what the hell they want. You got to take charge, man, and tell them what they want. They don't know what they want. And all of you that go against what I'm telling you right now, you will continue to be a simp. Because it's something inside a lot of you dudes, man, that make you want to listen to the woman. And that's the other thing, man. Some of you listen to woman counselors, man. And the game that she's kicking to you is, I know more what a woman wants. How the hell you know more what a woman wants when you don't know what you want yourself? You feel me? She doesn't know, man. You got to take the lead, man, and tell her what to do. She's going to respect that move. But you want to be in the background. I don't want you talking to Tazadaq and them no more. Then you see him disappear. He's gone. Like Cornelius Lewis. But they always come back, just like the movie. How many times did they come back? In that movie, sometimes they come back. But the damn vampire movie, sometimes they come back like Cornelius Lewis and try the second time, man. So, boy, if you come over here, you're going to have to man up, man. The simp thing's not working over here, man. I try to told you, man. The 11th TDOC commandment is thou shalt not simp. That's what it is, man. Let me let this rock out.
Man.
Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, just look at the picture, man. Just look at the picture you got up there. You know what I'm saying? This is what Eve is doing to the simps right now.
Come on.
Just look at the picture, man. Good God.
This is simp sauce.
Look at this chick that I got. This chick said I got 10 stacks for a night in bed. She bragging about it, huh? I got 10 stacks for a night in bed. That's a super cent right there.
Cause that's the dude. He come. No, I'm saying he put that. He telling her he got 10 stacks.
Oh, my bad. Oh, wow. Oh, my bad.
Vamp life.
So that's what he's asking her.
Yeah, he telling her he got 10 stacks for a night in bed. Well, he might have was flexing and he might have was telling the truth. 10 bands? Come on, man. Boy, ooh, Lord, what are you guys?
That's what he's trying to say to get her over this, huh? And he probably got 50, you know what I mean? He probably got 50 and he probably gonna try and straight strong on her, man. Simps move like that too, man.
What kind?
This is why a lot of broads that move like that in the prostitution industry, man, they gotta have pimps, man. Because a lot of dudes are trying to take them, man. You understand what I'm talking about? When the dude smash it, the dude don't want to trick that dough. So that's where the pimp comes in at. Yeah. And you about to hit her with 10 stacks, man, for that. Look at her body compared to look at her makeup and all that on her face, man. Her hair is probably who knows if her hair real. And in this day and age, man, you can't tell a so-called black woman from, because we don't know if the hair is real. You don't know what the hell you're looking at, man.
Especially when you see them from the back, you don't know what the hell they is.
Right.
And you see them from the back, you don't know what the hell.
She got a ring on.
What ring on? Y'all should be don't mean nothing, man.
That's crazy.
That means I can't be permanently yours. That's the only thing that mean, man. But it also could mean I get around, man. But I just can't be yours. Are you with that or not? Let me tell you guys something, man. Let me put you up on game. A lot of women, the only reason she tell you I'm married or I have a man to see if you're with it, she just put that out there. And then if you say, shit, you don't have to know. Once again, it's showing, man. I'm telling you what I know, man. It's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game. So when she say I'm married, you got to pay attention to her body language and how she say that. Is she telling you because she really closed off? Because a woman that really wants to shut a man down, she know how to shut you down, man. She's gonna make you feel like, yeah, listen, I told you don't, you know what I mean? But if she leave opening, like I'm married. She's open to you, man. I mean, she's open. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Some of these chicks that got men, the only reason they still with the man until they find a replacement. Understand that? He still be doing the same thing. See what you got on the screen here? You dudes are real simps, man. He's still doing the same thing.
You know what's crazy? This is Twitch, right? I'm pretty sure where you got the screenshot. But the platform Twitch, they actually banned the word simp from being used on the platform because dudes was getting made fun of, I guess, getting called simp because it was giving bread over to chicks like this. So they actually banned that word.
It's a double standard world out here. So they put send to PayPal because I'm a hot.
Right. Right. Just getting donations. Just wow.
And we don't need to talk about this, man. Are you serious? And I'm gonna hit you with something, man. A lot of these women, they have the borderline personality disorder. This is why they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing, man. They may have histrionic personality disorder, may have bipolar, See, these dudes be trying to act like they got swag. They be simping also, man. They did this millennial generation. It's finished, man. It's finished. Skinny jeans and all of this. Instead of that, man, I'm gonna call you Homer, man, because I said it all the time, man. They must have got that. They might have heard Tazadaq saying that. They don't want to make a damn poster of it. Because you were Simpson.
Yeah, that definitely must have been after you said it, because that wasn't the case beforehand, not to my knowledge.
There's a SIM card, man. Whose face? Don't get on the card, man. I'm gonna tell you dudes out there, man. Don't get on the card, man. Because I will take this damn card, man. I'll put your face on it. Don't end up on the card, man. I'm telling you, I'm warning you now, man. Don't end up on the card, man. I'm serious, man. I have your face on the card, man. If I find out about you, man, you go on my head. Don't get on the SIM card. I'm telling you, dudes, man, we gonna air you out, man. We gonna stop the simping around here, man. And many of these dudes, they simping for borderlines.
Yep. For bipolar.
Mm-hmm. There she go. And this one right here, you heard about her, Zeta? They wouldn't let her on a flight like this on Southwest Airlines. So she started tweeting about it. The only way they let her on the flight is the pilot had to give her his T-shirt because they said this was too lewd. She tried to make a big deal out of it. So when she got on the flight and got halfway in the air, she pulled it off. Man, the ghetto boys trying to tell you back in the day, man, you got to let her be a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't turn her into no housewife, man.
Nope. Ain't do it.
So when she got off the flight, they
it.
again, so you can't get back on our flights like this. Unless you dress
and Eve. I know, I mean, but Eve think that is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Eve think that's appropriate right there.
Yeah, that's because they made that they made that social.
She got to show everything to everybody.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? No. So you got to dress like a hoe. You got to dress out like a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Who can out-hoe each other? You know what I'm saying? We all get together. All of them, you know what I'm saying? Where all of them get together is all about who can out-hoe the next one. Oh, girl, look at me. I can out-hoe you. Hey. You know when you hear Eve say, hey, it's some turkey, there's some ass going around in a circle. Who can out-hoe the next hoe?
And it smells like
prostitution. I got to hold you right now.
And it smells like prostitution in there when she's saying that.
Good.
Yeah, that's because they made it sociably acceptable for them to think that way.
That's the norm for them now. That's it just ain't the norm. It's like law. It's like the law. You know what I'm saying? This is how you become a woman right here.
It's how they get their 15 minutes of fame. You know, that they feel like if they get their likes up, you know, they gonna be an instant success. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it became socially acceptable. So women nowadays want to use their physique, you know what I'm saying, their appearance in order to, you know, get riches and fame now. So if they feel like they can present the sexiest picture or get the most likes, you know, eventually they go get, you know what I'm saying, the riches from it. So they really selling they body, you know what I'm saying, for riches and fame, you know what I'm saying. But it's all became acceptable because they make it seem like it's a woman's right to have pride in her body and, you know what I'm saying, to show her feminine, I can't even say that word right now, but you know what I'm saying. But they made that acceptable for her to feel that way, you know what I'm saying, to put her body out there, you know what I'm saying, and make it make everybody believe that when they do that, that they're not doing anything wrong, you know what I'm saying, that they're actually doing something right because they have pride in themselves and they're not ashamed of their bodies and stuff.
Now let's talk about these batshit crazy females. This woman right here is a doctor. Let's see what she has to say here.
Always
Can you hear this, Yashabi?
Borderline personality disorder,
Con.
or
Con.
B.P.D, really is, and what it can mean for those in relationships with someone who has it. Now, B.P.D is a mental illness marked by an ongoing pattern of varying moods, self-image, and behavior. These symptoms often result in impulsive actions and problems in relationships. Some of the symptoms I'm talking about are intense fear of rejection, separation, or abandonment, rapid changes between thinking someone's perfect to believing they're evil, risky behaviors including unsafe sex, gambling, drug use, or accumulating credit card debt, threats of suicide or self-harm, difficulty empathizing with other people, mood swings from euphoria to intense shame or self-criticism, and frequently losing one's temper.
Okay. Hold on. Let's recap here a second. Now, all you men, some of you, you're with a woman like this, man. You're not going to admit it. Now, borderline personality disorder is a mental illness marked by an ongoing pattern. So if you're with a woman, and sometimes a man, some of you men, you're like this too. If you're with someone that has an ongoing pattern of mood swings, they have problems with their self-image and their behavior, these symptoms often result in impulsive actions. That means they do things on impulse, and problems in their relationship. A borderline usually bounces from relationship to relationship. She can't stay in a steady relationship, right? She has a social problem. She don't get along well with others, especially the ones that she's intimate with and closest to. She has an intense fear of rejection, separation, and abandonment. That is the number one fear of a borderline. If the borderline thinks you will possibly leave her, and she may not have any rational reason to think so, she will leave you first, guaranteed. Guaranteed. But then she'll want to come back. She'll beg you to let her come back, and she will swear in the name of her God, her whatever, that she will never do it again. And she'll do it again and again and again and again and again, as long as you allow it. She also has rapid changes between thinking someone is perfect. Now, I'm telling you this because I've been with a few borderlines, right? And when you first meet the borderline, she makes you feel like a damn king for real. I'm telling you, Zara, I was with this borderline. I said, damn, man, am I in Shemayim? Am I in heaven right now? This woman was doing everything,
Right.
Real talk, man. This woman was doing everything.
You're right.
Perfect, man. But you know what I learned? She's always reinforcing, I love you. She might have met you 2 days ago and she's telling she loved you already. You understand what I'm saying? I said, damn, how you love me? But if you're a gullible dude, you don't think, no, damn, yes, this bitch feeling me, man. I got this. You know what I mean? You think you're great, but that's not what she's doing. It is a trap, man. It is a trap. That's what they do. See, they go from one extreme to the other. See, a borderline can't just really just like someone. You know how when you first meet someone, you start warming up. The more you want them, you like them. A borderline be like, nah, I love you. They just talked to you 3 minutes ago. I love you. You understand what I'm talking about? But that could change within the blink of an eye. Because all you have to do is disagree with them, and you will see the most extreme hate that you ever experience. Because there's no gray area with a borderline. They are either extremely hot or extremely cold. There's either love or there's an intense hate. And that's what messed dudes up so badly, man, is they can't say, well, damn, hold on, she loved me, but you be confused. So when you stay with someone like that, you become an enabler. You prevent her from getting help because a borderline always needs someone there because she has a fear of abandonment, right? Then there's rapid changes between thinking someone is perfect and that they're evil. That's that love-hate relationship. Then they indulge in risky behavior, unsafe sex. Borderline go and have sex with someone, man. and it tell you about it. It said, I did it because of this. And if you go and try and do it, if you tell her she's wrong, the borderline would tell you how wicked you are and how wrong you are for saying she was wrong for doing that. This is the danger of being with a damn borderline. 30% of people that's been diagnosed as a borderline, they're involved in substance abuse, right? They also act off of impulse. If you're with a woman and you and that woman have a disagreement, and that woman go up and she run the damn credit card bill up or spend all the damn rent money, you, my brother, may be involved with a borderline. You may be involved with a borderline, and get the hell out. And Yashabin, you know I'm not lying. These psychiatrists would tell you, oh, no, you're supposed to stay and work it out. That's your right. Man, you better get the hell up out of there, man. Because you're going to become a codependent.
When you're getting counseled by a woman, that's what a woman sure I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I was going to say I was mostly counseled by, by like a couple, but it's still, I mean, they still did all, I mean, the woman was the leader in those conversations when I think back. And that stuff, I mean, Tazadaq already know, man, it is real in the field. And I wasted 12 and a half years trying to work on something that was never going to change, ever. Never kept a promise, like you were saying about the extreme, love and extreme hate. There's no gray area. At first it was every week, went to every month, and each instance, each episode, it got worse and worse.
Yep, that's how it goes, That's how it goes. It always get worse. It never gets better. And so the more you take it, the more she dishes out, man. Now, this is the person that was doing all of this stuff. And I'm telling you something else, Zara. The reason that a lot of these guys get stuck with a borderline will do anything for you want sexually. Because that's part of her trap of keeping that codependent close to her. Because remember, she fears being alone. She hates being alone, man. I mean, she never wants to be alone.
Matter of fact, you don't even have to suggest anything. She's going to try to bring up everything sexually that she don't heard from her friends, that she might have seen on some porn or something. Hey, baby, let's do this right here. Hey, baby, I mean, you gonna be like, hold on, baby, I don't want to do all that right there. Right. Ridiculous stuff, man, because she's trying to, like Charles said, she's trying to keep you by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? But they already think a man just automatically think, like with his other head or whatever. So you right on point with that, Charles.
Right. The borderline will also try. She'll try. Borderline might say something to you. You ever do a threesome? And she'll try and get another female involved, and then she will blame you. Don't fall for it, man.
Yep.
Because she will blame you for it, man. She'll say, "You don't love me. How could you do this to me?" Don't fall for it, man. It's another trap.
I did not. I was 22, 23. I did not recognize that for what it was. Even though I didn't fall for it, I just thought, well, maybe it was a test. And by grace, by a stroke of luck, I was like, nope, not doing it. Because everything is always your fault.
Right. The other thing right here that this doctor is saying, threats of suicide. The borderline that I was with was a cutter. Whenever I said I was going to leave, I said, man, this shit's not normal. I'm leaving. You know what the borderline? She would go and get the damn razor and slice her wrist. Now, mind you, this particular borderline that I was with, she worked in the medical industry, Zara, and her drawer was in the emergency room checking in psych patients. So I told her, I said, yo, what is wrong with you, man? You here cutting yourself, you checking in psych patients, and you're a psych patient. You should be a psych patient. And she done that 5 times, She done it. I said, listen, man, if you do that one more time, I'm going to call 911, and you're going to lose your damn jaw, and they're going to lock your ass up. So you know what she did? She stopped cutting the wrist. She tried to hide it. She started slicing herself on the upper arm. I said, man, I got to get the hell up out of this, man. So if you're gonna get away from the borderline, you gotta do it gradually, right? You can't let them know you're gonna leave, man, because they will make a scene. They will make a scene, and they might try and scream like you're doing something to them just because you're trying to leave. If you're trying to leave, the borderline's gonna block the door and all of that, man. And if you try to move her to the side, she's gonna say you hit me. Am I lying, Yashabim? You go through anything like that?
No, you're not lying. Because I used to play those talk shoe messages, in the background and tell her, like come in and listen. And just so y'all know, the talk shoe messages of this podcast that Tazadaq used to do back in like 2014, 2015, dealing with the same subject matter. And that was my way of trying to show her that, she needs a different kind of help. So when it came time, you know what I'm saying? I followed the instructions. I didn't say anything. All I did was move. I went on about every day, like, everything was all cool. The straw that broke the camel's back was that gambling business and putting the family at risk. So when that happened, I was just like, okay, I'm finally done. Ain't no more giving you any more information. I done bought books and all that. I made preparations, and I never even came in the house that day. I talked to her from outside, told her I'll be back in the morning, check up on the youngins.
Yeah, man, that's that risky behavior that she's talking about. But let's listen to this doctor a little more here.
And frequently losing one's temper. People with borderline personality disorder tend to view things in extremes, such as all good or all bad. And their opinions of other people can also change really quickly. An individual who sees...
So you hear that? That's very important. She said their opinion of other people could change very quickly. So a borderline might have just told you that she loved you, and you say something, and you think it was something very trivial, right? You thought it was something very small, and you would know, damn, a normal person wouldn't behave like this, and the borderline said, that's it, we're done. Well, I'm done with you. We're finished. It's over. And you'd be like, what the fuck just happened? I just said this, and you breaking up over that? It's that I hate you, don't leave me mentality. If you're with a woman like this, run. Because some of you guys are like women like this. And I'm going to tell you something else, Zada. The borderline is usually a very attractive woman. She's usually very attractive. And a lot of guys get hung up on that, man.
A friend one day may be considered an enemy or a traitor the next. And these shifting feelings can lead to intense and unstable relationships. I've often referred to those with B.P.D as emotional burn victims because they feel everything in life very intensely.
So they feel things differently than us. They feel it. So this is why they're easily offended, right? If you say something to a borderline and you may have not intended to offend them, they feel it intensely. Case in point, right? The borderline that I was dealing with before, and I've seen a lot of more borderlines try to approach me, but when I assessed it, I said, no, I'm not dealing with this chick. She's a borderline, man. Whenever I'm telling you guys, man, if you're dealing with a woman and you say something, and this woman, she want to break things off just for something real small, don't deal with her, man. That's a borderline. Leave her ass alone. And I'm telling you, she's going to come back, but you better be strong enough to leave. Am I lying, Yashabim? You better be strong enough to stay away, man, because she's going to come back and say all of these things to you. And if you're weak, you're going to crumble under it, man. You're going to crumble. So you better stand firm, man.
Kanye, he's right. And they try to use sexual favors and all that stuff against you. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what set it off. For my ex, when I refused to lay with her because I moved out and whatever, she tried to strong arm it, man. She really did. Made a scene at the supermarket because she happened to see me there and wasn't expecting to. And so I told her get her ass, to the house and shut up all that noise, and I'll talk to her at the house, because the rules still apply. I'm not going to address you. I'm not even going to, acknowledge you in the public when you're acting like that. So then,
Hey, I mean, you said that, Yashabim. But one of the borderlines that I was with, she literally, when I refused her sex, Yashibin, she literally tried to wrestle me out of my damn boxes. I can't make this up, man.
Yeah.
She literally was pulling on my damn boxes, man, trying to force them down. I'm like, yo, get off of me, man. I'm trying to get dressed, and she going, and she crying while she doing it.
Wow.
She's crying while she doing it.
Hey,
Wow.
I'm like, yo, this shit is fake, man.
Yeah, listen, this is exactly how it goes down. Identical.
And so, I mean, but if you flip that, this is what's, double standard. If you flip that, and some chick went and told authorities, yeah, he trying to force me out of my underwear, they're gonna lock you up, man. But if you tell them about the borderline, oh yeah, just you gotta try to understand her. She's splitting right now. No, you better get the hell out of that situation, man.
Yeah, that's BS. That is utter BS. Do not fall for that.
That's
you're going to end up calling the cops, and you're going to get arrested, even though you're the one with the marks. Marks on your back, on the back of your hands, on your forearms, showing that you were being attacked, and they're going to take you away.
Con. Yeah, one of the borderlines I was with, Tazadaq, when I was trying to get out, she attacked me going out of the door, man. Started punching me in the back. Then she jumped on my back, man, like a damn wild animal, and bit me in the shoulder. No, I'm dead serious, man. Yo, she bit me in the shoulder. She bit me in the middle of my back. I said, yo, get the hell, bitch, you hungry or what? She bit me, to the white meat, man. To the white meat. That's how bad she bit me, man. Like, so when I got out of the crib, I got on a raggedy shirt and all of that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get up out of here. And the dudes on the block, they laughing. You know what I mean? Because there was a barber shop right downstairs, man, like on Church Ave. So yeah, so I'm going to dudes laughing. Oh yeah, and they know what happened. You understand what I'm talking about? So I got a raggedy shirt on, so I went straight to Mount Sinai, man, and try and get a tetanus shot because she bit me like 5 times, and a human bite is one of the most unclean things there is. You understand what I'm talking about? Because her mouth is very germy. And so as soon as I went in New York, they have a statue. If you're in a confrontation with someone, if your skin is broken, that's automatically, they got to go to jail, right? So the triage nurse said, what's the female's name? Because I got to send the cops over there, right? Because your skin's broken, she has to be locked up. She has to be taken down to central booking. So I never told the lady nothing, right? I never told her, a female bit me. So I was like, nah, I got jumped in the subway. You know what I mean? I'm simping a little bit. You understand what I'm talking about? I'm trying to protect her. I was like, nah, I got jumped in the subway. And she was like, oh, that's bullshit. You're trying to protect some woman. A woman done this. You know what I mean? It was a fat, heavy-set nurse. She's like, that's bullshit. Why are you trying to protect her? It's only going to continue. And then she started telling me how a lot of guys undergo abuse and they don't report it. So the women consistently get away with it. I was like, nah, I got jumped in the subway. And she's like, are you going to tell me where it is? I said, nah, I got jumped in the subway. So that's a story that she put in the medical report. But after that, man, I wait until, and this was a professional woman, man. I'm not talking about no hood rat. You understand what I'm talking about? This is a woman that was working on her PhD at the time, right? So I wait until, I stayed at my man's crib. I stayed in Harlem. I didn't even go back to Brooklyn. I wait until the morning. I called out, didn't go in, and I went over there and got my stuff, man. Me and Malik went over there and got all of my stuff, and I was gone. And so when she got off that night and she saw I was gone, boom, she started blowing me up. Started calling my phone. Boom, boom, boom. Where you at? I'm sorry and all of this. I'm not answering. Guess what she did? She showed up to my job, man. She showed up to my job.
Wow.
I told the people at my job, I don't want to talk to her. If she come again, don't let her in. So they called security on her and said, miss, he doesn't want to talk to you. He doesn't want anything else to do with you, so you're going to have to stay off of these premises. And so that's her. And she was looking for me, man. I moved to a different spot in Brooklyn, and this chick ended up finding me, man. Like this chick ended up, I don't know how she did it, but she ended up finding where we're staying at and came and knocked on the door, and the person that I was staying with was like, yo, so-and-so came to look for you today. I don't need that crazy bitch. I'm coming knocking on my door and so on and so forth. You understand what I'm talking about, Zara? Because I'm already spotted up on another broad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So she said, who the hell's this crazy ass coming over and looking for you with this Jamaican chick? I'm like, oh yeah. I got this. So I moved again, man. For the first time, I moved to the BX just to get away from this chick, man. I moved to the BX and didn't tell nobody where I was living at, man. And consistently, man, when I would run into cats in Brooklyn, they was like, yo, so-and-so is looking for you. Like places, you know, back then they were still hustling videos on the street and all of that, right? The bootleg DVDs. I used to go to this specific dude, man, to get my DVDs. And he was like, yo, she came looking for you, man. I was like, man, don't tell her nothing, man. Don't tell her you saw me or nothing, man. And so this chick was looking for me, man. I ended up leaving New York and going to Vegas. I ended up staying in Vegas, man, for like 3.5, because the chick wouldn't leave me alone, man.
That's some detective work she was doing. Wow.
I mean, she walked in the now this person right here, man, was a damn social worker. You feel me? So you dealing with people, man. You dealing with children, and you behaving like this behind closed doors.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That should be.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking
about. No idea.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yep.
Oh, you better than me, you better, because you done not gave her another chance in a relationship, but you let her come. Oh, wow. All praises. Y'all better listen up. Oh, man.
Yeah, and I still let them rock. You see what I'm saying? I mean, y'all should be, when I resurfaced, you know, they try, let's, get back together. No, I'm good, man. Are you crazy? And get back. That's why, they was always coming around, like always so negative. You understand what I'm saying? The same thing Miss S is doing right now. That's what they was doing. That's what they was doing. I wasn't saying that. I never told nobody nothing, but they right there in the background, man. Yep.
Wow. That is wild, man. That is wild. Talking about PhD, huh?
Yep. Yeah, they got a PhD now. At that time, they had a master's. They was finishing up their master's. And you behaving like that, man. You just never know, man. And you know what I found out? Now Yashibin, they own meds. You see what I'm saying? So you guys better listen, man, and heed this knowledge, man.
And are sensitive to any shifts or perceived wrongs. And I also feel it's important to mention that B.P.D is called other things in other countries and in some blogs online. Some refer to B.P.D as emotionally unstable personality disorder or emotion dysregulation disorder. But as far as I know, and was taught in school, borderline personality disorder is the only actual diagnosis. There are also 2 books that I always recommend to those who are close to someone with B.P.D. They are, number 1, I Hate You, Don't Leave Me.
Remember I talked about that book? I Hate You, Don't Leave Me? Stop walking on eggshells. I don't have that one here with me. It's in storage, man. Another good one is Say Goodbye to Crazy. But that's why I have these books, man. It's not by chance that I have these books. That's what she's talking about right there. This book right here. And this is how I was able to put them videos out. Y'all should be reading these books and living, living an experience with borderlines. I was able to put these books out. Another good book is this, Say Goodbye to Crazy. And this one that this doctor's talking about right now, I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. But the problem that I have with these female doctors, these kind of women right here, Yashibin, when you're with these borderlines, they always try to create excuses for these borderlines, man.
And number 2, stop walking on eggshells.
That was the first one I got, called Stop Walking on Eggshells. Now, this guy, he was dealing with a borderline, and just by his actions, I could tell that it affected him in some sort of way, man. I could tell he's damaged, man. Now, I could tell this guy was a codependent, and he may have actually became a borderline himself.
And the partying and my friends and just my experiences, I always assumed that men were the abusive ones and men were always out to exploit women, and always had pleasant relations and relationships with women. That's just the experiences that I had, that men were the bad ones and women were the gentle ones, and women were the target of men. This was my experience until I was more or less 34 years old, and I got involved in a relationship that turned into a marriage, and I found myself in a situation that I had no idea how to handle. And considering that I was a trained sales professional, I had very healthy boundaries, very strong personality, a very healthy sense of self, and a wide range of experiences in life, from teenager until being 34 years old. I found myself in a situation where I was totally confused. I had no idea what was going on. And during the dating process with this lady, I didn't really pick up too much to be concerned about. There were a few things, but nothing to prepare me for what I would find myself in a little bit down the track. And
so this guy saying because he was in sales, he was used to interacting with people. He thought he was pretty sharp until he ran into a borderline. And it looks like she just messed him up, man. Just the way he's looking.
It's that.
See what I'm saying? See how he's talking all soft, and he looks still hurt, man. Right? He don't look happy, right? He's not.
He look bad shit crazy. He look bad shit crazy.
I mean, the dude don't look upbeat, Zana. I'm just keeping it a buck, man. He looks down, man. And this is how the borderline typically is, man. They're usually in a down. Everything is negative, man. Like, they see everything. I'm like, yo, try to be a little more positive. They look at everything from a negative perspective. The glass is always half empty, man.
You look like he speak Yiddish.
Hey, right. He probably does.
Who really knows straight away if they are getting involved with a narcissistic person or a person suffering borderline personality, just because they have many years of living with this condition, and they are not only successfully hiding it from themselves, but they hide it from other people also as a defense mechanism to not feel the intense pain that they endure through childhood or from past experiences. So this is grooming. Okay, the narcissist will groom someone, which means that they show their best self and really win the other person. And the borderline person will tend to love bomb the other person, okay, to come onto them very strongly, which can be very appealing also.
Now, this is what I'm warning you guys about. Borderlines do this. This has actually happened to me a lot, man. Women come on very strong from the rep, telling you I love you and so on and so forth. You say something they disagree with. Oh, I don't want to be together anymore. I don't believe we was meant to be. Just like that over something trivial, right? If you're dealing with a woman like that, cut her ass off, man. Cut her off and don't deal with her. Your primary reason that you can't do this is because you are too locked into how she might look, right? She might have a nice body. See, you've already fixated within your mind, damn, she's attractive. And you start imagining what you're going to do with her, how you're going you could fix her. You can't fix her, man. Then you start thinking about her being with someone else. That make you want her more. Man, let her ass go, man. Because when I see you 2 or 3 years from now, you're going to look like mud. Or you're going to look like this guy on the screen, man. Bat shit crazy. You understand? So don't go for it, man. And the other thing, Yashabin, is if you finally, because the borderline would tell you that she don't want to be with you so much, then come back. I don't want to be with you. Come back. Then you be like, you know what? I'm done. Then the borderline was trying to work her way back in and say, can't we just be friends? Can we be friends? You ever deal with that, Yashabin?
Con, and I'm going to tell you, don't fall for it. Do not fall for that.
Don't fall for it, man.
Yeah, that happened. I'd say probably about every 6 to 9 months, something like that. Oh, I have regrets, or make something up like, oh, I forgive you, when you ain't even do anything. I forgive you. Oh, we can go ahead and make up. Why can't we just work this out? All of a sudden, the other opposite extreme. Dang on, you see some rumors spread on social media, or calling your family members, trying to get your family members to three-way call you, the ones that don't know about the situation, distant relatives, all types of stupid, crazy stuff.
It made you something, man. One of the borderlines, man, showed up to my mom's crib. I'm like, huh?
Wow.
He showed up to my mom's crib, man. I'm like, how the hell she get my mom's address, man? And then try and get my mom to call me while she was there. I never picked up, man. Then when I talked to my mom's again, she was like, so-and-so was here. I was like, huh? Yeah, she came over here to see me. Now, do you really believe someone that's actually broken? You was never even close to my mom's like that. You feel me? It's all an act, man.
Exactly.
It's all a trap.
And this is the first thing that I learned, is that it's very difficult to spot and to see these things at the start, which means that generally people that do end up in relationships with borderline people or narcissistic people, they're generally unprepared. If it's their first time dealing with this condition, they're generally unprepared. And I certainly found myself totally unprepared, and I had boundaries, and I have very good communication skills.
See, he's hurt, man. You can see it in his body language, man.
Yeah, look at him.
He's still thinking about it, man. It damaged him, man. Maybe permanently.
He is hurt. He got no fight in him, man.
Right. It's really not funny, man, but he's probably thinking in his mind, maybe there's a possibility we can work this out. Because the borderline is still contacting him, man. They'll contact you years after breakup, man. They will still contact you, man. The best thing you could do is to ignore them, man. Don't respond. Even if you give them an argument, you're giving a borderline what they want. Once you realize that person is a borderline, you must break all communication. And they will use every skill that they know to try and break you down.
I had very good sense of
He looked like he might break. Look at his eyes.
self.
Yeah.
And I still found myself at the start of that relationship from very early on, totally confused and not knowing what was going on and how to handle it.
Okay, Dr. T, man, Dr. Terry, she be giving it up, man. Yeah, this woman, she be giving it up on these. This is a doctor right here. She be going in on these borderline women. Now, this is one of the psychiatrists that'll damn tell you that borderline is mostly women. And she'll tell you how they don't went in the DSM since there was a deluge of women that came into the psychiatry industry, and they try and say, nah, we're going to take this out. We're going to take this out, right? But guys, if you're with a woman, seriously, guys, all jokes aside, if you're on this call today and You're with a woman like this. If you've recently been in a relationship with someone and that person was telling you they love you, I love you, I love you, I just can't live without you, and then all of a sudden you've done the simplest thing, or you might try to correct them on something, because remember, the borderline has to always be right. And if you're trying to correct her on something she broke up with you, let her go. Leave her ass over there. Let her go. Don't go chasing her. I don't give a damn how sexy you think she is. I don't give a damn how attracted you think she is. You're going to be hating life, man, if you let her come back. Now, I'm speaking from experience. And don't feel sorry for her, man. She's not your responsibility to fix. You damn simp dudes, you're way too damn heroic. Because you always trying to save those, man.
Trying to fix them.
Trying to be a damn hero, man.
You can't be
You
fixed.
can't save these hoes, man.
Always trying to throw in your cape.
Yep. Always got a game. next thing you gonna see is a damn dude putting a damn cape on, trying to jump out of the window, calling himself Simple Man. You know what I mean?
Yep,
trying to fly, man. Trying to save these hoes, man. Trying to go to the rescue.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. They super simping these days.
Stop being heroic, man. You can't save them, man. Let them go.
Borderline personality disorder is on the cluster B spectrum, which is also referred to as the dramatic personality, the group of dramatic personality disorders, along with narcissistic personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, and antisocial personality disorder. Now, in my position is that at the heart of those cluster B disorders is sociopathy, and they're on a continuum. Other psychologists will disagree with me, because the DSM states that if an individual is engaging in sociopathic behaviors, but it's attributed to another mental disorder such as B.P.D, borderline personality disorder, or narcissistic personality disorder, then it can't technically be considered sociopathic, even though the behavior is sociopathic, which to me seems kind of ridiculous, because sociopathy is sociopathy, whatever the cause is. In borderline personality disorder specifically, there are 9 criteria in the DSM, which is the manual that psychiatrists and psychologists and social workers use to classify mental illnesses and disorders and diagnose them. There are 9 criteria. An individual only has to meet, I believe, is it 5 or 6? I think it's 5 out of the 9 criteria to be diagnosed with B.P.D. And there's a lot of variation. Not all individuals who have the disorder look the same, act the same, but there are many commonalities. And to me, the most common ones are emotional instability, chaotic interpersonal relationships.
That means your relationship with this person is going to be chaotic. The same borderline is going to tell you, I love you. You just don't understand how madly in love with you I am. Will leave you within a blink of an eye. You got to recognize it for what it is, man. Let me tell you, man, stop believing that it's something that you've done. The borderline is going to tell you that it's something that you've done. It's not because anything that you've done, man. It's because that's who they are. And right then they're splitting. They went from extremely in love with you to an intensify hate. I'm telling you, man, if you're in something like this, you better get the hell out, just like the movie. Get out!
Emotional lability, which means mood swings, but it's not attributed to, say, bipolar disorder, in which a person swings between depression and mania, as a commenter, Peter Wright, pointed out on the Voice.
So the borderline is a very moody person. They have mood swings. Might be in a good mood. and this is very common to me, man. Out of nowhere, this damn borderline would just get an attitude. So, yo, you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. What the fuck wrong with you, man? It got to a point. Yeah, it should be, man. I don't want to be around this person no more. I was like, yo, man, you need to go ahead to your mom's or something, man. You can't be around me, man. You stay in a low state. Like you're coming from a lower level vibration, man. I need positive people around me. And you most of the time you're very negative.
Con.
Within a few hours, the whole mood alters, man. And they get extremely happy. Out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell just happened here?
Con, I'm gonna be honest, I thought, like I said, some of my rules, I thought it was, a little bit extreme, because family members would tell me, will try to make me feel bad about it. But if she acted up in public, I would just leave her there. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was seen, I'll just dip. And until she fixed herself. Because, I mean, it really got that bad. Like, I didn't want to be around her either. Anytime we go in public or, go out on a so-called, date, go out, whatever, it needed to be planned out. And things were set before leaving the house. And it was just so much extra dang on work to do that, man. And it's unnecessary. That's not what we're supposed to be going through.
Yeah. Yeah, one day, and the B.P.D always has a trust issue. They don't trust you, man. One day this is when I first met this particular B.P.D. I came home, man, and all of my personal items were scattered out on the floor. Everything. Looking through it. I said, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, wow.
He said, I know you cheat. You cheating on me, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. I said, man, you know what, man? I'm out of here, man. I'm going back to NY. I'm going back to New York. That's when the cutting started again. She saw slicing her wrist with a razor blade. Running in the back. Just crying and crying consistently for about 5 hours straight, nonstop. I went in the other room, man, locked myself in the room, man, and try and sleep that night. They took the damn the knob off of the handle, man. They got a screwdriver and came in the room. And I was waking up in the middle of the night. She's standing over top of me with a damn screwdriver.
Wow.
I'm serious, man. I'm serious. I said, yo, man, what the
hell no.
What the hell? I mean, this is a real story, man. I can't make this up. I said, man, I gotta get the hell up out of here, man. I get the hell out. I said, yo, I'm leaving right now. I'm leaving. And she said, if you do, I'm gonna kill myself. I said, oh shit, man. I gotta make a move, man. So I started reading these books, man. And the books be like, yo, man, if you're gonna leave a borderline, man, don't let her know you're leaving. You have to do it when they're away. So I planned my escape, man. She was at work. Because she used to work 12-hour shifts at the hospital. But then, one day, out of nowhere, Tazadaq, she quit her job. I said, what were you doing here so early? She said, oh, I quit. I said, but hold on, you've been working for like 15 years, you told me. She said, yeah, I know. I say, what about your retirement? Tazadaq, she got $30,000 worth of contact lenses. She took all of her damn, this is a real story, man. She took all of her damn retirement money and went and bought contact lenses.
Wow.
So what the hell is this, man? What have you done? Is this your retirement? She said, yeah. I said, where's the rest of the money? She said, I'm going to give it to you. So how much you got? She only had 2 G's left. $30,000. I'm supposed to be happy? I said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah. Real talk, man. This has really happened, man. This really happened. You know what she told me? You know what she told me? Because she was gone for about 4 days. I said, well, where you been? Because they go through You know, I see, where you been? You haven't been here. You haven't been home. She said, oh, yeah, I took my daughters and all, you know, to the beach. And she said, if you told me you don't want to be with me again, I was going to go ahead and take care of myself. I mean, she was going to off herself. She said, I just wanted to show them a good time before I left.
Wow.
So I just played it cool, man. I was like, oh, yeah, no, everything's cool. Everything's good with me and you, man. But in the back of my mind, man, I was like, I got to get away from this chick because this is dangerous. And if something happened to her, just like in those forensic files, the first one they look for is the husband, the boyfriend, or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? When something happened to these people, that's the first one that they go looking for, man. So I just played it like, yo, nah, everything's peace. Everything's good.
Man, with the there was a lot of issues like where show up at my job, North Carolina, show up at my job in Georgia. There was one time that there's a spot on the highway. Every time I ride by that place, there's no signal, so the call drops. Happens the same time every single day. Well, one day it happened, and you know, I told her, you know, I called back. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to hear this anymore. Don't talk to me. I ain't talked to her all night. I came home the next day, and she had a 3 or 4 page printout of Sprint of the texts and calls and all that. She's like, who is this? Who is this BITCH? You over here calling, or it's calling you, and you spending 40 minutes, hour and a half with her every so often. Who is this? And then she calling you 40 times. Who's this BITCH? Who is she? Who is she? Yep. So I let crazy be crazy. Again, this is before, you know, I knew about any of the information. So I get to looking at this piece of paper. You know I ain't doing nothing. I even would turn my phone off and not turn it on for literally like a whole day. Or I'd switch phones just to show her I ain't got nothing to hide. You know, my simple self, I ain't know any better, but I did. I look at this 3289. I was like, you don't recognize 3289? That's your number, stupid. You don't call yourself a BITCH. You said this BITCH is crazy for calling me 40 and 60 times, which means you should probably stop doing the damn shit. I mean, and you know, of course it didn't stop, but once you know, well, you know, I'm your wife. Oh, I'm supposed to BS. That's, I mean, man, it was like that, dude. Like, it is crazy.
Yeah, you know, the last borderline I was with, man, she had gotten so bad that she was going outside to my car and she was writing down. You know how you have the mile counter in your car? She would go out there when I was asleep and write down the miles on my car and try and track where I've been through the day, man. She told me, well, I know where you go if you're only going to the gym. And she brought it out one day. She said, I've been writing down the miles in your car and you went somewhere. You went some fucking where, and I want to know where. And I'm going to find this bitch.
Oh, wow.
What are you talking about? So you telling me you literally wrote down the miles on my mile marker in my car? She said, yeah, I did. I said, man, you really have some daddy issues. You really got some problems, man. You got trust issues. So this is not going to work.
They got daddy
when you tell them, man, about it's not going to work, man, you see whole scenario switch, man.
Watch out. Yep, stand by, because something's coming. It's like a dark cloud, like you see in the movies, man. The whole atmosphere changes. The countenance change. They might, you know, slam stuff, or they might just get dead quiet. And all of a sudden, you know, boom, something crazy. I mean, it can be anything.
Yo, once I was traveling with her, man. I mean, we traveling across the country, man. And on the way back, man, that damn borderline kicked in. The other personality, like the other person kicked in, man. And she just went from being happy to like, I don't know, man, very, very dark and angry. And I'm like, yo, you okay? And the obvious lie comes up. Yeah, I'm okay. I said, you sure you? I told you I was okay. Now everything just come out. I saw how you was looking at that woman back there.
Uh-oh.
What you talking about? What you talking about? So I'm trying to make sense of this. I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? Because we've been driving for the past 200 and some miles. Ain't been nothing but rocks, man. And so what woman are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, man, we driving back from Cali, man. Yeah, we driving through Mexico or something, man. Ain't nothing but rocks or nothing, man. What is this woman talking about? So I'm racking my brain trying to like make sense of this. I was like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. And the more I would tell her, I don't know what you're talking about, the angrier this woman became, man. Screaming at the top of the, you know what I mean? And so I had been driving, I was letting her drive. And she put the pedal to the metal, man. When she got angry, she put, I said, this bitch gonna kill us,
I
man.
killed both of us now.
Yo, man. And we up high, man, on a high altitude, man. I'm like, damn, in my mind, like, yeah. I was like, you know, yeah. I said, who you talking about? The woman at the gas station? I couldn't make sense of it, man. She said, you know who I'm talking about. I guess it was imaginary, man, in her mind. Because we hadn't been around, you know what I mean? Most of the places that we stopped, it was men on the registers. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Hey, you know how when a woman want to get your attention, she upset, she like pokes you with the finger real hard on your shoulder and try to put her arm into it?
Yeah. I
got woken up out of the middle of my sleep because she was dreaming that I was with another woman at damn 1 o'clock in the morning, dude. At 1 in the morning. I'm like, hold on a second. So you mad because you saw me with another woman in your dream? Yeah, who was she? How am I supposed to know what the heck is going on in your dream? Well, you was there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like the damn Twilight Zone. The goddamn on Twilight Zone.
She probably was like, I know what you generals do in your off time and your downtime.
Man, this is wild. This is back like 2000 and that was like 2012. But again, brought it up during the chronolized counseling session. And well, she has to be able to express herself, or that's just her reaching out. You know, dreams always mean something. You sure you're not doing it? I was like, man, if you don't stop talking to me, I just shut down. Because there's no way out of that.
That's the best defense, man.
For men page for this hangout, the borderline will often swing between intense love or hate, or in shrink speak, intense valuation and devaluation. These individuals often have what can be described as Jekyll and Hyde personalities. Many self-identified borderlines will claim that the problem isn't that they don't have empathy, it's that they have too much empathy. Although when you look at their behaviors towards their loved ones, it certainly doesn't seem that way. I don't want to get too much into the causes of this behavior. It used to be believed it was caused by intense physical and emotional neglect and or child abuse and sexual abuse. But I think more often than not, it is an attachment disorder. With the individual has an unstable or chaotic or non-existent attachment in early life to a parental figure. And look, I know I don't want to say all of them are hopeless. I think there are individuals who have this disorder who acknowledge it and who do make a serious effort and commitment to getting well. It is not easy. It can take years. They can, if they are committed to it and acknowledge their issues with the help of a skilled clinician, they can learn impulse control, reality testing, how to stabilize and spiral out of control. but I think, generally speaking, the prognosis is not good. And the reason I am posting this comment by Nicholas Goroff, oh shoot, okay, yes, I did post the right one. Would Munchausen by proxy be a common trait in those suffering from B.P.D? Yes, it could be. I just want to briefly touch upon it. And why we're discussing this today is that B.P.D is usually not the only issue a person has. It is often comorbid with substance abuse. And comorbid means the person, in addition to one diagnosis, has others that seem to travel together with it. So eating disorders, substance abuse, research for individuals who make false allegations of abuse and violence and sexual abuse are often made by borderline personality disordered individuals.
So you guys get that? Research shows that people that makes false allegations about sexual abuse, you know those women that pretend that they got raped or something like that and molested and really didn't? Those people usually have borderline personality, according to this doctor right here in research. So keep that in mind.
As well as individuals with histrionic PD, narcissistic PD, paranoid PD, dependent personality PD, which technically isn't the diagnosis in the DSM anymore, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that the feminists in the APA successfully lobbied to have it removed because they believe it was stigmatizing to women. It's often implicated in child abuse. So this is a really, really serious disorder because of all of the other things that can.
So borderlines also were involved in child abuse. Sometimes they'll just let the baby cry. That's not normal, man. If you're dealing with a woman, she's just letting the baby cry and cry. That's not normal. That's child neglect. That's child neglect, man.
I hate that.
There's something with that woman, man. Yeah, I hate that thing too, man. I hate that. Yeah, so they abuse children physically as well. So if you're with someone that's like that, man, keep these things in mind. Now, we're laughing about some of these things, but this is a very extremely serious disorder, man. So if you're with a woman like this, man, you may want to suggest that she get evaluated. Or if you're with a man. Some men have this.
Often be associated with it.
And speaking of treatment for this order, this is why we wanted to have this discussion. So now let's move away from all the diagnostic stuff. I mean, folks, if somebody gets mad, they didn't like the flowers you got them and drags a key down the side of your car, you don't need a diagnosis to tell you to get the hell out.
Looks like Cornish Lewis did. Remember his car got all keyed up on Yashabin?
Oh yeah, that Cadillac.
She came to the hotel and keyed his car on the side and on the top. Ruined the paint.
Con, it was cheating the whole time. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Right. And then he still went back to her. He went right back. Talking about, this is my wife.
And disappeared.
And to move on. If you do, you got a bigger problem than the person who keyed your car. So let's move past that now. But where this does get really interesting to me, and it's something that you and I have both witnessed and we're both very familiar with, is that in the treatment industry, as it were, there is a definite, it's like this, there is a tendency, and more than a tendency, it's a predominant trait of most mental health professionals now. And you see it not only in their literature and you see it in their practices, but you also see it, as we talked about in the description for this hangout, you see it in the online communities for those who are seeking support, who are dealing with people with borderline personalities. There is a tendency to send the message that they need to try to understand the pain and feelings of the person who is abusing them, rather than pay attention to the fact that they're being abused and that they need to protect themselves from it. This is a tremendous problem when the whole purpose of the mental health industry and of providing mental health services to people is to help them improve their lives. I mean, without that as a cause, there's not much point in mental health professionals being there. But what we have right now is a whole lot of mental health professionals who are very, very enabling of those with borderline personality disorder, and very, very abusive, I think, with their family members, their loved ones, the people connected to them that are being abused, by reinforcing the message to them that they somehow need to just take this abuse, to look the other way, and to instead empathize with the struggle and the pain of the borderline. And that
who is their abuser?
Yes, who's their abuser? And I watched that happen, and it got a lot worse. I was in the mental health field during an interesting time when we went from practicing mental health services to practicing feminism. And as the more the mental health community became more feminist, the more enabling of borderline personalities and the more less supportive of the victims of borderlines it became. And now I think it's an absolute mess. Tara, what were your experiences with that?
Well, I was in school, in grad school while that was happening. And at the same time, starting I think in the late 80s through the 90s, I don't know if this is still going on now because I don't hang out in academic circles for many reasons. There was a real push in psychology programs, grad school programs, to start enrolling consumers of mental health services into the field of psychology as practitioners. And that includes individuals with B.P.D. I had a classmate who had scar marks up and down her arms. My program took her.
You see that? She was a classmate. She was going to school for so-called psychology, and she was a BDP herself. You see that? One of her classmates. And so, like I was saying, there was an influx of a lot of women that came into psychiatry in the 80s, according to these doctors, and that's when the feminism came in. And so they, as a result, they took certain things out of the DSM, and now the victims of the people that had borderline personality disorder was no longer protected. The women came in and started to make excuses for the borderlines. Because now remember, most borderlines, according to DSM-4, are women. So when feminism came in, they tried to change that. They took it out of the DSM-5.
Money for 2 years and then kicked her out as soon as she had emotional difficulties. I don't blame her for that. I blame the program and that they didn't refund her money. Also, I think that the field of psychology attracts a fair number of people, whether or not they have a diagnosis, who go into the field because they have pretty severe issues that they're trying to understand and figure out. And then once the mental health field became feminized, and by that I mean beginning to incorporate more and more of feminist doctrine, which I believe feminism as a brand or an ideology, whatever it has become today, panders to personality disordered women, right? Women as victim, women as oppressed, even when they're the ones abusing their kids in greater numbers, as entitled to special treatment. I think it sort of became a perfect storm in the field of psychology. Also, the field is now predominantly inhabited by female practitioners, again, who may have their own issues. And I think their own biases get in the way, that if they hear a woman is behaving irrationally and acting out and abusing her boyfriend or her husband, well, she must have good reasons for doing that. And she might, like she has serious issues, or she grew up in an abusive family.
They ever say that to you, Yashabin? They always try to make excuse for why the borderline woman is doing what she's doing. What did you do? One of the things they like to say is, what did you do to cause her to behave that way?
Con, and my response mostly was I either went to work, came back from the base a little bit late, I worked late, or I fell asleep or went to sleep, and you got extreme behaviors. Like I got a scar on my left forearm that's about 4 inches that I got from a lamp. Since I chose not to go to this so-called church and over here saving up some money, some fiat, I went to go do a moving job over in Oxford. So I went from Raleigh to Oxford and back, done in about 2.5 hours, got like $250, and then I had to do my regular shift, and dang old woman wouldn't let me in the house. I'm like, what? She saw the money in hand and everything. Got mad, didn't want to let me in the house. When I forced my way in, dang on picked up the lamp and hit me with it, or tried to hit me with it. Crazy. I think my son's seen that one. He knows about that one. That's why they don't respect her right now. They see her act out. But that doesn't make any sense that they'll let someone in the field of psychology and not screen them for as serious as as mental disorders are. I mean, you can't have someone do surgery and they got a nerve problem. They can't hold a scalpel straight. You see what I'm saying? Can't have an alcoholic be in charge of an AA meeting. So it's crazy. It started back in the 80s like this.
I think a big reason is that they'd have to backtrack and find that a lot of so-called professionals are disqualified strictly from that screening process. It used to trip me out too. I knew people who were in therapy, for varying degrees of reasons. And, I'd always ask them and they'd openly share, some of the stuff they discuss. And one thing that was surprisingly common among their therapists was that they had therapists and that they often were on medication. And most of them said that that was normal and okay. And I'm thinking like, well, what's the point of therapy then? Like, why are you paying all this money to not get, actual results? And this is like during time I was making my diet, change and things like that, and I was seeing results in that regard. So in my mind, I kind of thought mental illness should be treated the same. I never put, so-called mental professionals, psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists on a pedestal, just because I never saw any results from it. And, it kind of makes sense now. But yeah, that is very wild. And now to hear that they're, trying to remove and omit certain things because it hurts people's feelings, or it's rude, or this and that. Like,
well, I mean, primarily, Dwayne, because a lot of women came into the industry, and remember, a lot of these disorders, if you get the DSM-4, and you could get a copy of that, was directed towards the women, right?
Okay, yeah, that's wild.
Let me add one more thing. They also used against me the fact that I was in a service. They even called, like try to get my CO involved to force me to go to counseling and whatever, because there was a time where she didn't know that I could actually, like fight. She didn't know that I was, skilled in that matter. She didn't ever see it. I never showed her anything. I just, basically just told a story. So when it came a time that, she actually seen me perform or in the act or whatever the case is, she started to escalate her scenarios to where she, like the one I just explained to you, she pick up lamps, broomsticks, and different things like that as a way of trying to deter me from supposedly defending myself. Now I don't condone any man putting a hand on a woman, but you're not supposed to let yourself be harmed to the point where, well, to any point at all whatsoever. So I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. Like there's some out there that are going to try you. And you're going to be like, oh, well, I just want to see, if you was really a man. That's not how you do it. And it's not how you do it. But they try to use that against me. Well, you should have done something to disarm her versus you putting your hands on her. And I'm going to go ahead and put a side note out there. She never been in the hospital, never been bruised, never bled, or nothing. The fact that I used the front side of my palms versus the back side, because she wrote down in the description of what took place, they always try to correct me that there was a better way that I could have done it. It was crazy. I even got we got in a car accident. This woman grabbed the wheel and I swiped the backside of a 80s model Land Rover Discovery. It had one of them hard metal bumpers and there was no issues. So the guy was like, I don't care about, the whole insurance thing. I was like, nothing's going on with my car. Oh, well, he said with his Jeep, but I had a 2002 Grand Prix GTP 40th anniversary edition, two-tone leather with a force induction hood, the holographic dang on windshield, odometer, and all that. Just jacked it up. Grabbed the wheel, grabbed me, and the fact that I had to keep her off of me so I can pull over. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, even with that situation, still coming to me, well, there should have been a better way for me to handle that. Because basically what I did, I held her head against the other side while I pulled over and put it in park and got out.
Feminism.
Con. This stuff is really true. Like I'm laughing about it. It wasn't funny at the time, and I made fun of the other dude because it was like, he's still in his dark place. But it's real. That's the only way I can do it, because it's for real. Like, you can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think it was out of a movie or a cartoon. That's where it comes from, real life.
Did you have to pay for those sessions, Yashabin?
Nope. Sure enough, I guess in a sense I did. For those ones with the state, I got paid for through the military.
Oh, okay.
There was some kind of added benefit, but if I was a regular Joe, then yeah, I would have.
There was a better way. You could have done it better.
Yeah, it's called an apocrypha. Yeah, that's the better way, the apocrypha. Get out while you still can. Men and women alike. If you're dealing with something like this, and all these points that's being brought up is is resonating with you, and it makes sense and it mirrors your situation, you need to start making plans to get yourself out that situation. So that way, if you happen to be one of those that that want to save somebody, be ready after they reject the offer to getting help, that you just oh, okay, and act like everything's all good and move on. Because the fact that they diminish the scenario that I could have lost my life, and they still going to correct me. I got marks on my arm. I mean, my whip is jacked up. I'm like, what? Like, that is crazy. And this is a 40th anniversary edition. This isn't just no regular old Pontiac back in 2002. It only had like 18,000 miles, man. Dang on like 300 something horsepower. Like this is like this is like a real deal, man. Like this made to be, put on the track. Like I done did some things to it, and man, it was crazy. Don't do it, y'all. Heed the message. Until Tazadaq come back, what I've actually found out, like the stuff that they brought up, what the causes are of that, there was definitely a deep neglect inside, that particular borderline's childhood of being rejected by her father. So she never had a relationship, with the father. And at that time, I think I was 21, 20. I was 20 when I met her. I didn't know at the time that was like, I wasn't up on game. I didn't know that was like an issue to that regard. So in my mind, well, if she sees how I am, then, and, so that I grew up, somewhat healthy and, where I'm working toward, a particular vision, she want to be a part of it. And they say yes with their words, but do not believe anything that they say, even the good ones. It is what they do.
Right.
And make decisions like that.
Right. And the borderline is not going to tell you she's a borderline. She's going to continuously deny it, even if you show her something. Because I left a book on the table. That book stopped walking on eggshells. Because I knew she would pick it up and read it. And she read it and she said, this seems like it's talking about me. I do a lot of this stuff. That's what she said. And then I was like, maybe we should go in and see a doctor. Then the whole personality just, ain't nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. It's not me, it's you. You're trying to push that off on me. I said, she's looking for an argument. I said, okay. She said, I'm not going to see no white doctor to have them psycho. I said, okay, man, maybe we could find a so-called black doctor. And she said, well, I'm not going to no doctor at all unless we could find one that's holistic. So I happened to find this lady that was a holistic doctor, man. And I caught her when she was in a good mood. Took about 2 months. And she finally went in to, talk to the doctor, man. And so the doctor talked to her. Now, the average doctor appointment for them to analyze is an hour. They had her ass over there 2 hours and a half, man. This doctor talking to her. And she came out, she seemed, kind of happy and all that. And I was like, so what was the results? She was like, she said, I'll get it in the mail. I said, okay. And so, the doctor was like, hey, are you her spouse and so on and so forth? I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, thanks, He said, can I talk to you for a second, one-on-one? She said, we don't do that and so on and so forth. I was like, yeah, I've really got to run and so on and so forth, man. But in 2 weeks, man, the diagnosis came in the mail, man. And that's when she was first diagnosed as a borderline. And in my mind, it's like, I knew that already. I didn't need some doctor to tell me that, man.
Right.
And all this stuff that I've been, learning about.
Right.
And so when she found out that, man, she turned it up even worse, man. She turned it up after she found out that she was a true borderline. One day, man, she called the damn ambulance on herself. She told him she was about to off herself, man. So the damn ambulance and you know, paramedics and everyone responded. And this was after I stopped dealing with her, man. And then she was always trying to reach back out to me, man. Like I was gonna be that saver her, man. I wouldn't respond anymore, man. See, if you don't respond, I'm gonna kill myself. I can't respond no more, man. I'm not responding. I can't put myself back into that equation, man. I'm out of it. And you know, I guess you know, the person is still dealing with it. It's up and it's down. Because even now, man, every now and again, man, after years, this person still will hit me up and send me messages. It's like it never goes away.
But instead of addressing those issues and saying this absolutely is not okay and you need to stop it, they justify it, rationalize it, and then tell the male abuse victims, well, you just need to be more understanding of her. When I would be willing to bet anything.
That's on the minute.
They would not say the same if the genders were reversed. It's the feminist branch of AP and psychology. Oh, whatever their division is called.
Division 51.
Yes, I believe I'm remembering this accurately, but double check anybody who's interested. They lobby to have dependent personality disorder and passive aggressive personality disorder removed from the DSM because they claimed it unfairly stigmatized women since women were the ones receiving those diagnoses most often.
So what she's saying now, to those that don't get it, previously in DSM-4, dependent personality disorder was considered to be a sickness. A woman that always wanted to depend on a man. And passive aggressive personality disorder. Because they were saying many of these women are passively aggressive. When feminists came in the 80s, they removed those.
Yeah, I remember something else too about a crusade from them and some other feminist groups about removing multiple choice questions from college testing because it was unfairly discriminated against women by forcing them to pick a right answer. But that does not surprise me, nor did it surprise me when you talked about how feminists had said that the sociopathy that is linked to borderline personality disorder can't rightly be called sociopathy.
Well, I don't know that those were feminist psychologists. That's written into the DSM. So whoever was responsible for that might not have been. In
the modern psychological world, I would think a lot of that probably is feminist influence. I'm just going to venture that as a guess. Mm-hmm. I can't think of another reason why they would do that. But the point is here really is, what are people to do? We have people that, and look, living with any mental disability is difficult. If you've ever lived with an alcoholic or with somebody who's clinically depressed or someone with schizophrenia or somebody that's bipolar, or go down the list of diagnosis, it's tough. You do have a challenge in front of you to learn how to deal with any of these things if you want to maintain that relationship. But part of the problem with this, and I want to go back to it, is that we are talking about a problem of character, not a mental disease. There is a big difference between true clinical depression and somebody who's pissed off because they didn't get their way 28 out of 28 times during the course of a week. So what are people to do now? And how do we help borderlines? That's the question I want to ask you, is if we've got an establishment, a psychology establishment that is only willing to tell borderlines that they're not the problem and that they're not responsible for their behavior or what they do to people, aren't we just throwing them all under the bus? Let's say that you're a guy that stumbles on this video and you have a partner whom you suspect may be borderline or have borderline traits, or is that all this behavior is sounding familiar to you. And a lot of times what these people will do is they will insist on getting therapy with having it in mind that the therapist is going to collude with them in order to attack you, and they're often right. So here, I just want to make one suggestion that you can do. If you feel pressured to go into marital therapy as a guy, and you've decided that you're going to give into that and you're going to go see a marriage counselor, go pick the counselor yourself and see them yourself the first time. And this is not to go in and tell them what a bad wife you have or what a bad partner, or to try to do what the borderline would do, which is to get them to collude with you. But you really do, before you get into a marriage counseling situation, if you have a personality disordered partner, you need to know what you're dealing with on the other side of the chair in the therapist. You need to ask them very pointed questions about their knowledge of borderline personalities, of personality disorders, and about how people should react to that. And
one of the reasons you need to know this is because borderline often gets misdiagnosed as something else. They won't even know that the person has borderline. So if the psychiatrist or the psychologist is not trained in this, they mistake it for bipolar disorder. Borderline's in a whole different league by itself, man. They even challenge the psychiatrists and psychologists. Some of the research I was doing, psychiatrists and psychologists don't even like to deal with borderlines. Because they try and play tricks on the psychiatrists.
If you hear a hint of enabling, if you hear a hint of them being hesitant to talk about your having boundaries.
What he means by enabling, he's telling you that some of these psychiatrists and psychologists will enable the borderline by telling you that you're the one that needs to change. That you need to accommodate the borderline.
Women psychiatry.
If you're going to that, you need to get out of there, man.
And Taz.
I knew that from the beginning.
And Taz, and most of them are going to be women. Most of them are going to be women counselors, women psychiatrists.
Yep. And that's what's going on. That's why I said to the one that I'm the social worker, man. They studied that. I said, man, how the hell are you selecting what home children go to and you got an issue? Damn. The world we live in, man.
That aren't supposed to be crossed, and that you're supposed to protect yourself in a relationship or lead it, then you're in the wrong place. Whatever you spent on that session was pennies on the dollar compared to what you'll spend ending up with a therapist that's going to set up to play your wife's advocate in a couple session that is really for her benefit as a personality disorder.
And to that screening criteria, I would also throw in, ask the therapist flat out, do you believe women are capable of abusing their husbands and boyfriends? Do you believe men can be abuse victims too? And if you get, well, yes, but only in very rare situations. Go find yourself somebody else.
You guys hear that? Because a lot of you guys undergo abuse, man. And especially mental abuse.
Mental.
Sometimes they abuse you so much mentally, you feel like laying hands on them, man. If you're around a woman like that, get out, man. Get out.
Like the movie.
Because one day she's going to drive you to doing it. Then it's going to be a wrap for you, buddy. Get out where you can. While you can.
If they give you a rasher of crap about, well, what do you know about personality disorders? Are you a psychiatrist? Are you a social worker? Are you a mental health expert? Just get out of their office. You know what? This is the digital age. you've been living with someone for 10 years and you have half a brain and are paying attention, it's not rocket science to type in to a search engine the symptoms and behaviors you've been observing and experiencing and get an understanding on what might be the problem. No, you're not qualified to make an official diagnosis, but you certainly are qualified to understand what you have experienced firsthand. So if you find yourself in front of a therapist who has that attitude, keep looking. One more thing. I had a client who was dating a female graduate student in psychology, and he had false allegations against him. Told this woman he was dating that he suspected that his ex had B.P.D. And she said, well, then you need to feel sorry for her. Meanwhile, he almost went to jail for stuff that didn't happen. And this future psychologist was telling this man that no, he wasn't the victim, even though he almost went to jail, lost his career, had to pay tens of thousands of dollars in fees to an attorney to straighten out this mess. No, he needed to feel sorry for her. And then she said, and this is the grubby little fingerprints of feminism in the field of psychology. She went on to say, and anyway, when a woman is having problems like that and behaving like that, most of the time it can be traced back to something a man did to her.
Don't you fall for that. None of these religious teachers.
That's a trick. That's a trick.
Don't you fall for that, Simps. I heard Farrakhan say that, man.
Yeah. That's a trick. They all say that. They all say that. And it's a thing right here, Charles, what a lot of people, street counselors gonna tell. She's been hurt. Maybe she's been hurt. Well, maybe I've been hurt. Maybe I've been hurt. So her hurt is more important than my hurt. Come on.
Right.
Come on, man.
Kahan, did you say you heard Farrakhan say that, or?
Yeah. Farrakhan said, for every no good woman, there's a no good man behind it. Same kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? So basically, he said all men are responsible for women being no good. Come on, man. You see some BS like that, man? Be careful what you believe, man. You're not responsible for what happened to her, man. She brought that into the relationship despite what that woman's telling you, man. B.P.D. don't just rise up in a vacuum. She's been living with that all her life, and she learned how to hide it. But it will show itself. Sometimes it shows itself on these calls, man. People come on here. Someone came on here the other day, man, exhibiting symptoms of B.P.D. Started attacking all the guys in the room. It's female. This came on here and just started attacking. What the hell's going on here? They started attacking everyone, man.
There's your signal to run right there. And let's say we need to say this and qualify it. Guys, if your partner who is telling you that we need to go to therapy to get our problems sorted out, which is code speak where we need to drag you in to somebody that will help me bully you into acting like I want you to. If they are exhibiting behaviors that are very consistent with the things that we're talking about, making false accusations, destroying property, self-mutilating, making threats of suicide to get their way, saying, what do you mean you have to check the mail? Why can't I go with you? If it is that bad in your relationship, guys, you do not need a therapist. You need an attorney.
Right.
If you're married.
If
you're married. And then maybe even if you're not, if you're living with somebody. But
sometimes you need the jaws of life to extract someone like that out of your home or apartment.
And the other thing you need is a car, which you can get in and throw your bags in and drive away. We are.
You Sims can't do that, man. You Sims can't do it.
Here. When you're at the point, usually, I mean, a marriage therapist will tell you this all the time, because this is how they explain their failures in therapy, is to say that people wait too late. They wait until there's too many problems. Well, of course they wait till there's fucking problems. Why would they go to a therapist if they weren't having problems? But that little sales pitch for family therapy and that little bit of exposing their failure to perform in that aside. If you are really dealing with somebody who is characterologically, say that fast 3 times, a mess, and who has really bad character, is really destructive to you and harming your life, you're wasting your time with a therapist. Don't go see a therapist. Maybe see one for you. If you can't figure out why you're not already fucking gone, then go see a therapist about that and talk to them and find one that really cares that men can be abuse victims too. But you really don't need a therapist in most of these cases. What you need is out. And, you know, with the.
Now, you talking to 2 men, myself and Yashabin, that, you know, lived through this. And I dealt with several of them. If you still think you need a therapist, man.
Me too.
You're going to be sucking her intent, man. And Zada. If you still think you need a therapist, man, you're done, dude. You are finished. Women, they don't like this core, man. I don't know. It's misogynist. Right? Fix those disorder. We're trying to save people, man. Trying to save people, man.
Yeah, I hope folks take heed to it sooner than later. Because just to paint the picture, so I had the so-called church, so-called family members, so-called friends, so-called my immediate command in my unit all telling me to do the same thing, which was to, you know, try to work it out, despite what I told them. Despite what I told them. Everybody was saying the same thing. I'm telling you, it was like the Twilight Zone, and it was like a breath of fresh air getting up on talk shows. Because I was like, okay, so I'm not the crazy one, you know. I'm not the crazy one. It's definitely the other way around.
Yeah, man. But they will have you believe because you're the man, man. This society teaches you that the man's supposed to be able to endure everything. Take everything from him, man. Let him start over. Give it all to the woman. Let him start over. He got the children. Even though the man want the children. I mean, she got the children. The man may be very well taking care of it, capable of taking care of the children and wanting with her. They give it with him. They give it to her. Just because. That's what Esau's system has decided. Do you guys not realize, and if you doubt what I'm saying right here, the #1 child abusers are women.
Yep.
Go and check it out. You can Google it right now. The #1 child abusers are women. Usually the younger women. They abuse children more.
Big facts. Big facts.
Yeah. But they don't like this type of thing being discussed, man. Because you're labeled misogynist, a chauvinist. I had, when I posted a link this morning, man, on the channel, there's some simp ass dude, and he's all booed up, in the picture with his woman. She pressed up against him. You know what I mean? She looked like a pair of work shoes and about 10 miles of bad road. She pressed up against him. He told me, man, that sounds religious. I said, like, dude, you pressed up against your woman. You saying this because you under your woman, man. She, you know what I mean? In the back of her mind, man, she don't even respect you, and I can tell how you coming off right now. She doesn't respect you. She's not gonna tell you to your face. She wants to chase a dude like me, man. Because that represents strength. And he started sending a lot of chains of message, man. I didn't respond to it. Stay off my timeline, man, if you don't like it.
Hard.
Simp. He's sipping on that simp sauce. He putting simp sauce on his steak. You know what I mean? On his steak and chicken.
Yeah. The borderline actually gave one of my sons a black eye.
Damn.
For something so small, you know, for nothing. I actually had to like counsel her in that matter. Matter of fact, you know how it is, you know, when you're training, Kahan, and they got this thing called escalation of force, right? And it works the same way, de-escalation.
Right.
So I actually tried to break it down and, you know, in military terms on how to handle, you know, situations when, you know, it's high energy and how you meet that and, you know, being a certain way so that way you're not so, you know, like stressed over like small things. And I thought, I was told this is just part of it. Nah, it is not healthy for anybody to be like that. You're gonna give a little child a black eye.
Right.
That's stupid. There's no justification.
You didn't get a pass for it. Didn't get a pass for it because you're a female.
Yeah, that thing. Now that irked me, and I didn't even put it together because I threatened. I was like, you know, if something like this ever happens again, you know, I'm never ever gonna talk to you. And that's, I mean, I was real serious. I didn't talk to her for like a week because, you know, that kind of hurt me, and, you know, in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because it was uncalled for. But I mean, I believe that because for the most part, all the man has to do because of his tone and everything is really raise his voice. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, get a little bit loud to show that he's serious. But for a woman that feel like she got something to prove or that's been abused in that manner and they've never gotten over that, they're going to try to pass that on. So you gotta constantly watch out and probe for that. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all don't want to go through that. I didn't know any better at the time, but that's not something anybody wants to go through. To have to continue to probe everybody in the house for, you know, what happened, what's going on, and you looking for, you know, them type of cues and things like that, because they're gonna eventually find a way to you know, to lie to you and try to cover it up.
Come on. Yep.
With all, again, I understand people with borderline personality disorder suffer. Folks, they hurt so much sometimes they self-mutilate to control pain, and to get attention, and they're out of control. And no, there is a certain amount of truth to the fact nobody asked to be this way. Nobody wants to have a borderline personality disorder, and they are people that are deeply affected by their problems, but they have at least the ability to get help from qualified help where people aren't enabling them. And the fact of the matter is that their victims suffer more than they do. One borderline can be compared to what any other serial abuser does in any way. They can be a wrecking ball through the lives of one person after another, after another, after another, their whole lives, causing all sorts of destruction.
And not just their partners. This happened, they will abuse their children, and the transmission of abuse.
You hear that? They would abuse their children. So the borderline woman would typically abuse her children, man. And if anyone doubts it, man, Google it right now. See who child abuse is highest amongst. It's higher among women than it is men. They're the number one abusers of young children. And they don't like this kind of talk, man, because they say we're attacking females. And you know, the only females that speak out against this is the one that's guilty of this stuff. That's why they don't like it. Because they're guilty of it. And some of you guys, man, a lot of you guys on this call, man, you're undergoing some of this stuff, man. You better take this seriously, man. And get out now. Because it's not going to get better. You know you're not happy either. You know you're not happy being with a person like this. It's up and it's down. It's up and it's down. It's hot and it's cold. When it's good, but when it's bad, it's awful. So get out of that, man. Get out now where you can. Because if you don't get out, she's going to take you out or the cops are going to take you out. Because she's going to fabricate some kind of story on you one day, man. A lot of these borderline women, they love to call cops on men. And where a jackass gets back with her after that, I can't get it. I don't know. She calls the cops on him, and he remains there. He forgives her again and again and again. You better wake the hell up, man. You men better wake up, man. You young men that's listening to this, man. You could take this as a joke all you want to, because you might be with a borderline right now, and you don't know what it is. How are you gonna protect yourself against it if you don't know what it is? So you need to learn what a borderline is. I'm not saying you need to become an expert, but you need to share this on video with your friends, because a lot of people, once they share my videos from a spokesman for men, they say, yo, man, I didn't even know what this was, man, until I watched your video. And that describes my my BM or my wife. I said, okay, man, what are you going to do about it? He didn't do nothing. He stayed. Ended up in a very bad situation in the end. And it's always that I wish I had listened. A little late now, man. You got a domestic violence charge against you. Your whole life is ruined. Because of what? Because of her box. Because you thought she was attractive. She didn't think much of you when she called the cops on your ass. And made up things. He said he didn't even do it. She made up stories. They bought it. Took him down. Put a restraining order against him. Couldn't come to his own crib anymore. It's the world we're living in, folks. Welcome to reality. This is not no reality TV. This is real life. If you don't listen, you will end up a victim. And if you order for borderline, they're not the victim. You're the victim. But most of these female doctors are going to tell you that she's a victim. You're the victim, man. You better get out, man. I'm warning you. Don't be another dude on the list and say, damn, Tazadaq, I should have listened to you guys. Don't get on the list, man. Don't get on my SIP card. And watching you, Benign, man. Watch out at the gym, man. Don't get on my card, man.
Oh, heck no. I'm about to be on no card.
You know that SIP card? Hey, shut up. Hey, man, you don't want that young bull on that card, man.
Not the young bull, man. Not the young bull, man. Don't do it, young bull. Don't do it, young bull.
Yeah.
We were like, man, what happened to the young bull, man? Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? The old young bull, man. He old young stallion, man. He don't know what I'm saying? He don't got her whipped out, man. She, man, I don't know what old young bull at, man. He tied up somewhere, man. She don't goddamn put that poison in his suit. Now he couldn't move, man. It paralyzed him. Now she got him tied up somewhere, man. Don't do it, young bull. Don't do it.
Yeah, he over there on that cow's udder.
It's the sip juice, sip milk. Using that sip sauce. I'm gonna definitely share this video to everybody I know.
Oh man, nigga ain't worried about that.
Hear about
A lot of
this.
dudes, man, they know their woman is like this, and many has acknowledged it, but they won't leave her alone, man. They always want to talk about the history they got with her, and I got a child by her, so on and so forth.
Occurs and yet
Oh yeah, all that.
generation,
That always excuse.
which is another good reason to look at your girlfriend or fiance's parents and family dynamic, because often this happens generation after generation after generation unless something is done to break that cycle.
You know, Dr. T brought up something.
Yeah, one of the borderlines, man, I was with, man, her mom was a damn borderline too. Because you know, when I went around her mom, I said, damn, this woman act real weird. And they had the strangest relationship, man. It wasn't like a mother daughter, man. It was barely any communication between the two. I said, damn, man, now I see what she like this, man. The borderline that make you feel sorry for her, man, like you're responsible for her. She'll make you believe that she can't function without you. And if you don't give in, she'll just go and get another guy and do the same thing on him. All the stuff that she told you she's going to tell the next guy. Same things that she's trying to do to you, she's going to do to the next guy. You thought she was doing it to you because you're special. You're not special. That's part of her trap. That's the way that they lure you in.
Again, do not believe what they say. Only watch what they do.
Yep.
Telling you, act like everything's all good, and make your move at the right time in order to protect yourself and your seed. If there's any, if you got any sons and daughters involved.
Or if you're just meeting someone like this, that's your indication, man, not to get involved. You study this, man. When men meet women, man, they always make women feel as though she's the prize. You should be screening that woman to see if that woman's good enough for you, man. Because when you let her screen you to see if you're good enough, you're already giving her the head roll. You should be screening her to make sure she's good enough for you. What you need to do, and I talk about this in my book, man, is to come up with a list of all the things that you want in a woman, man. And when you talk to women, man, you screen her for these qualities. She doesn't have it, don't deal with her. Don't deal with her, man. You're going to regret it in the end. For some box. That's usually had a lot of rocks in it already. It's not like the box is new. A box has been used a lot, man. That box has been, been getting around, man. But you want to cuff her. You can save her. Men love trying to save women, man. Love trying to save her. But you're gonna learn.
Before we started this program today, that I think is also really important. And she read a partial list of criteria about borderline personality disorder. Like I said, go in and Google borderline personality disorder, read up on it. If you think becoming an expert in the disorder is going to help you, then fine, go ahead and do that. I would argue that it's not, that you should just look at behaviors. But one of the things she added to the list is if your girlfriend shot her last boyfriend. There's a real reason, guys. And I know she had a really good reason for it. But if she shot him or stabbed him or ran him over with a car or hit him in the head with a pipe wrench or squirted lighter fluid on his crotch and set it on fire, all of these things I'm thinking of came from news stories, by the way. I'm not just making them up as they go along, as I go along here. But if she did one of those things to her last boyfriend, you might want to consider that the only diagnostic criteria that you need to meet.
Or if she has a room wallpapered with restraining orders that she obtained against ex-boyfriends and ex-husbands.
She got a wallpaper with restraining orders of all the Negroes or boyfriends that she had put away. And you still trying to kick it to her, man. You still trying to, because you think she's attracted, or you think she's got a nice body. So you think, nigga, I'm gonna get a Purple Heart for this one, man. I'm gonna get a Medal of Honor for this one, because I'm gonna say this hoe. Stop being so damn heroic, man. Stop trying to save her. You understand what I'm saying? No, I mean, that's what they think, man. They know something's wrong with the chick, man, from the rip, and they try and save her, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get a Medal of Honor for this joint right here, man. I'm gonna save her. I can change it. He keep telling himself that, and when he get in, he get, damn, I don't know what the hell like that. You see that other dude? You see that other dude we had on the screen that looked batshit crazy? She gonna have you looking like that, but a little worse, man. And you can tell he's still hurt, man. He's still hurt. His spirit is not upbeat at all, man. He done forgot how to laugh, because he didn't laugh. That entire video was monotone.
Mm-hmm.
Damage, man. He's damaged goods, man. Don't be next, man. Don't get on the list, Malachi. You better get that divorce, Malachi. Don't get on the list, man.
Make like the Roadrunner and meep meep. Get out.
Which, of course, brings us right up against the same wall we run into every time. And I think that's probably good enough to have, some of our closing thoughts aim in this direction. Is the biggest enablers of borderlines are often their victims.
Yes.
Men who tolerate abuse, men who
like
try
one
to
is
do
Lewis.
anything to please them until they blow up and become abusers themselves. That's often the sign of what he said was absolutely 100%.
So in other words, if you're an enabler, if you're tolerating the abuse, you become an enabler. That means you're reinforcing that behavior. You're enabling her to continue that behavior instead of calling her ass out on it. And what happens? You eventually yourself become a full out blonde borderline. You become one. Stand around the borderline too long. You become one. People be like, damn, what happened to him? You become a borderline. And you start doing the same things that she was doing.
100% spot on. Correct. You can emotionally abuse somebody to the point that they react physically. Anybody that does not believe that or think that it can happen, you're out of your mind.
You hear what he said? Did this doctor say you can emotionally abuse someone? He said that these women, that's why they don't like these two doctors, can emotionally abuse a man so much that it causes that man to react physically. She pushed so many of his buttons. It's better to get out, man, before that happens. Because if you're pushed to that, they're gonna paint a very ugly, ugly picture of you and ask you, why didn't you leave? You're gonna never be right in that situation. So get out while you can before it gets worse. Like I said, man, a lot of you men, women, you're dealing with people like this now. You know it from this video. You better do something, man, to get the heck out of it now. Get out now while you still can. I don't want to hear another "you was right." That doesn't fix anything, man. It's going to be too late then. And you're going to be undergoing a lot of regrets and maybe at loss for a lot of fiat. Because you're going to need a lawyer to try and get you out of it. If they can. So get out, fellas. Don't do it, dog. It's just not worth it. Stop trying to save him, man. No medal honors for this one, man. You know the perfect song for a simp? The only one that tries to save a borderline is a simp. And the man may not realize that he's simping. What's that song? What was that guy named Bruno or something? That sings that song, I'll jump on a grenade for you. I'll jump in front of a train. Yeah,
Yep.
what's his name, Dwayne?
That's Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Bruno Mars. That dude is he's the perfect definition of a damn simp. You guys know what song I'm talking about? If I put it in the video, they might
Yeah,
find
I know what song you're talking about. You said I'll take a bullet for you or something like that.
Yeah, that's a simp, man, to the highest degree. And you know what Eva tell him? I don't listen to Tazadaq. He ain't no simp. He's just showing passion. No, that's a damn simp, man. If you're anything like that, man, you are a simp beta male. Nice guy. And the woman's not going to want you, man. I don't give a damn what she tell you. She's not going to have respect for someone like that, man. You're going to jump on a grenade. See, that's all that stuff that, you know where he learned that from? He learned that from the society in the movies. Because that's what men are taught to do. You dinky damn simps throwing damn coats down so she could walk over a puddle. Remember they trying to teach you that in grammar school? Throw a coat down so the woman could walk over a damn puddle. Are you kidding me, man? Could someone please tell me this is a damn joke? Catch a dude doing something like that, man. Someone needs to go up in his grill, man. That's what it is, fellas. Wise up. Be careful, man. Don't get on that card, man. Don't get on that SIM card. Don't be the next face on that SIM card, man.
No, am I justifying violence? No, I'm not justifying violence. Am I justifying violence against women? No, I'm not justifying violence against women. What I'm telling you, or men, what I'm telling you is that if you spend every day for years belittling and emotionally terrorizing somebody, if you put any dog in a corner long enough and kick it, it will eventually come out and bite the living shit out of you. And that is a natural consequence of constant abuse on somebody.
If somebody initially in a relationship in the dating stages, getting to know you stages, is eliciting feelings of pity and sympathy from you, be very careful. Be very careful, because I've seen it happen time and again. Women with these issues and men, male borderlines often do the same thing. They are eliciting your sympathy and pity so that you will feel sorry for them, which means you are more likely to tolerate their abuse because, hey, they've had it so rough and they can't help it. So be very careful about that. Slightly off topic, but I wanted to add it.
And are getting to know her in the very early stages, like the first couple of dates, outings, whatever you want to call them. And you end up feeling the need to protect her. And I don't care what she's saying, but if you end up feeling that way, if that instinct is triggered in you that, wow, well, she's had it rough, she's had it bad, I would never treat her that way. And if you start having those kind of thoughts within the first couple of meetings, that's a red flag, guys. That's a big, huge red flag.
If you're having those thoughts, she already got you, man. She already has you, and you need help, man. Talk to some of the brothers, man. But you need help, and you need to get away from that. You just met her, and you feeling like, oh, man, I got to protect her, man. Her life's been hard. You're trying to be heroic, man. The only thing you're going to get out of that, man, is stress, maybe hypertension, and maybe a jacket sheet with a domestic violence case, or maybe two. You might get some time in jail behind that. If that's what you want, then hey, man, step to it. Stay in it. But if not, get the hell out, like the movie. Hopefully somebody's absorbing this today, man. Because I know we're talking to people, man, that need this. Hopefully you're absorbing it.
Healthy women do not present that way. And of course, part of the problem here is not just men's protective instinct, it's their pattern in mate selection, because what men most often do is they have an immediate physical reaction to a woman, and if it's positive and they're attracted, then they start trying to create reasons in their head why they like her. This is part of normal human behavior, is that you see her, that, oh, she has a nice body, she has a pretty face, I think she looks really sexy. Oh, well, let me just get to know her a little bit, and everything you hear sounds positive. During that time is when he is going to introduce the damsel in. And it may be very blatant, it may be saying my ex-husband is still stalking me, and it may be very subtle by saying I had a really rough time as a kid. But if you end up during that time feeling your white knight instincts being triggered for that woman, buddy, you're in danger. I'm not kidding you. You're in danger right then and there. And if you don't know that, or if you let your desire for her physically override that, then you're walking into your own problems. And until men start taking responsibility for that, then telling them about the evils of B.P.D. and bad therapy and the family courts, all of it means nothing. All of this goes back to the individual male, to his reaction to women, to whether or not he tests her character, to whether or not he even values whether she has character. And let's face it, that is a lot of men's problem. Once they're physically attracted, they don't give a damn what her character is like. This happens all the time. It's been reduced to saying thinking with your dick. I think it's still a fair analogy. It is thinking with your instinct to reproduce and not thinking with your brain.
Buddy, if you're this stuff that we've been talking about today, if your women are doing any of this, buddy, you are in danger. And get out. If you're in a relationship, let's recap here a little bit. And a woman has actually been telling you she loves you, she loves you, she loves you, and then suddenly you slightly disagree with her over something you thought was small, and then she breaks up with you, run. Run. Stay gone. Don't call her back. Don't try and work it out. Don't try and fix the relationship. Run. Get out. You're going to end up at least with hypertension. It may lead to a heart attack, cardiac arrest, or what have you. So at this time, we're going to open it up, man. Anyone else got anything they want to contribute to this topic? Perhaps some of you didn't realize that you was actually involved with a borderline prior to this call. Again, you don't need a psychiatrist or a psychologist to tell you to get the hell out. After this call, what do you think? What about the person that you're with? And remember, borderline could be men also. Some of these men are borderlines, man. They carry on like that. They conduct themselves like that. Protect yourselves. Do the right thing. And get out of that situation. Or you will severely regret it. Anyone in the room have anything? Ray Tucker? Joe Moore? Any of you? Speak now or forever be thy wed to thy borderline. This is a cry for help to those that wouldn't help themselves. Get out while you still can. Anyone? Dwayne, Tazadaq, anyone have anything in closing? Seems like everyone might have left, huh?
I hope not.
They wish that they had stayed. Book of Proverbs 24:17 says, "For though a righteous man may fall 7 times, he still gets back up." So you may be down right now. You very well may be in a relationship with a borderline. And a borderline, if she leaves you, she's going to go and get you replaced very quickly by someone else. She will replace you very quickly. And she don't have to love that person. She will tell the person that she loves him, but she really don't love him because a borderline doesn't really know what true love is. She's never really experienced true love. Part of her personality problem comes from neglect, not being loved in her infancy, or, youthfulness. She hasn't been loved. So do yourselves a favor, folks. Get the hell out of that situation. David, you still on the call? Is there anyone in the room that have anything they would like to share with the remainder of the group? Because believe it or not, if you know something, don't hold it in, because even when you think you're not helping someone, you really are.
Con, do not hold it in. Click on the link, come on the Google browser, and share your perspective on your experiences.
Or, if you need someone to talk to, man, come on. Because if you're dealing with a border, some of you are dealing with one right now. So as we speak, some of you are living in this situation. And you didn't know what it was until you heard this message. And this message was divinely inspired for you to hear it. That's why you was on this call today, man. You were supposed to hear this message.
I ain't gonna say I was the worst case scenario, but I've dealt with this thing for years. 4 years, wasting time and energy, and it's something that was never gonna grow and never gonna change.
Ever.
So I know you guys are out there. And and we're talking about those that are, honestly trying to or want to fix the situation. And only fix for a borderline who does not acknowledge that she has a problem, and for a borderline that has gotten so much success in her lifetime from being that way, there is nothing you can do about it. Believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yep. I'm telling you, man. Hey, AB, come on in the room. AB say he's in this right now, man. Come on in the room, AB. Click on that link. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Stop being so damn heroic. You can't save these hoes, man. You ain't get no medal, honor, nothing for this. Why you keep trying to save
her? You don't wanna be saved. Don't save her.
No gold star.
Look, there they go right there. Y'all should be coming forth. Why don't you guys come on the call and talk about it, man? Talking about it is the first step, man.
Yeah, man. Talk about it, man. Get it off your chest.
Yeah, you gotta vent that,
chest, brother.
You gotta vent. Trust me,
feel much better.
I know what it's better, man.
All right.
What is that?
Much better. Come on, let it all out.
Ganako, Gamma, come on in the room. Click on the link from a Chrome browser. AB, come on in the room, and let's talk about this thing, man. Because one of the worst things that you could do is isolate yourself. And I tell you something, what the borderline does is she isolates you. The borderline will make sure that you get rid of all of your friends and associates. They only want you for yourself, because that way they can control you. They don't want you to have fun. Yeah. That's why they get so close to you in the beginning. They make you feel as though you don't need anyone else but them. and they snatch that shit away. And then you standing like, you know what I mean? You're alone. You look around, no one's around you. You ain't got nobody to talk to.
They're gone, man. They're gone.
And then the borderline leaves you. For someone else.
But get what he says, I love her, man. I love her, man. Oh, yeah. I love her, man. I ain't gonna leave her, man. I love her.
That's what the dude told me, man. You don't understand, man. I got children by her. I said, yo, she just cheated on you, man. Is this not registering for you? She just slept with another guy, huh? And I showed you the text messages where she trying to text me, man, something sensual. Man, you don't understand. What don't I understand, brother? That you're codependent? That you, right now, so yo, man, right now, man, you're borderline. You understand what I'm saying? You're almost a borderline. So y'all should be, now you know where that one kept coming around, man. That eventually disappeared after about 1.5 years. Because I eventually went on a block theory. I thought the scriptures might help her, but it didn't.
Yeah, that just blew my mind. I had no idea.
Always very, very negative. Every cool.
She was.
Disagree with everything we said.
Blew my mind. Yeah, you way better than me, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would have ever done anything like that. I'd have probably turned
I was
into.
trying to stay in the spirit, man. I was thinking, well, maybe these precepts will help her out, man. It's not like I was hiding it, man. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just have to send it to another camp. I already got that made up in my mind, because for as much as I've been, you know what I'm saying, like put through, I can't. I cannot. I don't know. I don't think I can.
AB, come on the call, and what is it? Why?
Ignacio,
come on the call. Ignacio. Go ahead, Joe. What you got, man? JM, go ahead. JM from Michigan, go ahead. Joe Moore.
might have stepped away. And not for nothing, but Yasha Beam and Tazadaq, like they're skilled military men. So when they're telling you to run and get out of that relationship, it's not for nothing.
Good.
And Zara.
Okay, God.
So you got 3 men on here to get the hell out, man.
Get out. Get out, brother. Get out now. I'm gonna tell you, man. All 3 of us got experience dealing with bipolar, and multiple personalities, psychotic depression, ass women, man. Get the hell out. You can't save them. I know you got a good heart. And I know the brother Yashabin, the good brother Yashabin, he got a good heart, man. So I know she read him batshit crazy, man. He got a good heart. You try to you try to work with these women, man. You try to, you'll say, because like Tazadaq said, they don't show you like, oh, I love you. They talk all that I love you. Now you don't feel in love with them, because a lot of time I'm gonna tell you something else that I don't know if Tazadaq went over this yet. A lot of times, them crazy women
No matter.
got some of the best. You know what? You know what I mean?
And they arrested her.
Some
So
got the best. You know what? You know, and the best sex. I put it like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes they have the best sex.
Yeah, I went over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I mean, the best. I'm talking about. I'm talking about the best, man. I'm talking about that whap. You'll get trapped. Messing around with the whap.
It's like a spider's web.
Don't get trapped. Don't get trapped in the whap. You know what I mean?
Hey, Zeta, one borderline told me that the woman put it on him so bad, man, his toes didn't curl up. And they got jumped off his feet and started running on the whore, man.
Man, don't fall, man. Don't get trapped in the web, brothers.
I mean, he said, 10. I said, my man, how you stand up? He said, I ran and got him, man. Yeah, man. Joe Moore, I think your connection's bad. Yep, he just fell out again. Larry Malone, come on in. AB, come on in. What are you waiting for? You said you're going through it right now, man. And you're going to keep going through it until you discuss it. And know what? She probably in the house, man. That's why he probably can't come on. She's probably saying, you better not go to that damn call. She might be turning it up on him right now. AB, come on in the room, man. It's all right. Joe Moore is your contestant. Oh, he said he's at work. Damn, he said he was playing for 20 years. You see that? For 20 years. Damn. That's longer than y'all should be.
Con. Yeah, that spending all that money like that fiat, that just did it for me. I already told you a lot of it, some of the experiences, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But man, that I couldn't do. I was not going to do that again. Because it took literally about 10, 12 years to get to that point of saving up. I was like, nah, I'm done. Not doing that again.
Yeah, you got to learn to be indifferent with a borderline. You really have to learn to allow what they do not to affect you at all. You really have to learn to be indifferent, man. And if you want to be healthy, man, you need to go ahead and start dating someone else to help you get over that, man. Because a lot of you men are not going to be able to pull it off. And most high forbid, man, if you have children by the borderline, you can multiply that times 10. Because they will use the children as a weapon against you.
Positive relationship with her own daughter. She's abusive towards her own daughter, doesn't feed her properly, bathe her properly, and gets physically abusive at times. And I can't hide it from my daughter because I'm not going to hold my daughter back from seeing her mom, and I'm not going to arrest her development by saying mom doesn't have a psychological, issue right now, that she needs help, but she won't get it, right? So until Amy realizes there's a problem, then only Amy can fix it. It's the same as a drug addiction. Only the individual can make the change. Thinking as a codependent, you're going to go in there and help, you can forget it. The individual has to want the change.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And they're not. Most borderlines don't. The only time the borderlines usually change is when, according to the research that I done, was when they become much older and they're less attractive and more men won't want them, now they really try to change. Because a borderline usually use her appearance to go and get another sucker, to go and get another simp. And the cycle continues. She's never really loving any of you, right? She'll tell you she loves you all the time, but she doesn't know how to love. She doesn't know how to express it. It's all about her fighting her intense pain that she experienced because she doesn't perceive things the way that a normal person does.
Con, that's exactly what my ex did. She went out after I threw her out of here. She went out, got her own place. She had a baby with her work husband because they like to do that too. Right. They engage in risky behavior, sexual behavior towards strangers, you know, so they'll sacrifice stability over a one-night sexual encounter.
Right. Yeah. And then she'll get him sprung in the same thing that she went through with you. She puts him through. He doesn't see it in the beginning. He thinks that, oh, wow, I'm better than this guy. And she, the same way that she used to win you over, she uses it on him. And like the other guy that I played on the call earlier, he doesn't even understand what's happening. He don't understand what's going on. He doesn't know that it's part of her trap. But when the switch comes out of nowhere, let's say you come home late from work. The borderline may interpret you saying, well, honey, I got to work late. She interprets that as though, oh, you're not interested in me anymore. You want to leave me for another woman. And so when you come home, when you do arrive home at work, from work, expect a fight. Verbally, that may go physically. If you can't prove where you was every single second. And she may keep ringing you while you're at work. And if you can't pick up while you're at work, you will pay for that when you get home, buddy. Trust me. And if you doubt it, ask Yashabin. Ask Joe Moore. Because you will not have peace that night. You will not sleep. Unless you're trying to do it like I do by locking yourself in the other room. Only to awake and find the borderline standing over top of you about 3 a.m. with a screwdriver. Because she took the knob off of the door and came in the room. And she's standing above you crying. For the next 6 hours, this is what you listen to. How it's all your fault? How you done something to her? So this is why you gotta learn to be indifferent. Whatever she does, you have to move as if you don't feel a thing. Because it has nothing to do with you. Though she would try and convince you, I wasn't like this until you met me. You know how many times I heard that? I wasn't like this until I met you. Then I started to look at a history. I'm like, oh, shit. You like this for a while.
Hey, man, how'd you hear about my ex-wife?
Hey, man, I dealt with several of them.
I've been trying not to talk about her like that, and here everybody's talking about her. Or are you talking about somebody else?
Yeah. They all carry similar tendencies.
It just shows that there's a pattern of behavior that's affecting our entire community, regardless of where it is. You know, because crazy is as crazy does. And, you know, thank the Most High. But when I went through my divorce, I looked at her straight to her face. I said, if this is about being a divorce, then that's what it's about. And you ain't getting no child support, and I get 50% custody, period. Those are my terms. Didn't back down, didn't do anything but stick to my guns. And I've got 50% custody and no child support either way. And, you know, it's got its ups and it's got its downs, but ultimately, once I got free from that, my mind cleared out.
Yeah, I hit you with something though, Tim. When you don't have your son or daughter with you, she's trying to turn your son or daughter against you because that's what mine was doing. When you're telling me all of these, she told them, "Oh, your father's not here because he abandoned you." She literally put that word, and my son came to say, "Hey, Dad, my mom said you abandoned us." I said, "How do I abandon you? I pick you up every week. What are you talking about? Don't listen to that." And I was like, "Man, I can't believe she's putting these things into their heads, man." Like she said, "You don't care about us. That you ran off with another woman and so on and so forth." I'm like, wow.
Identical.
These with the children, man.
Identical.
See, I don't play that bull crap. My son knows where I stand as far as, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. Absolutely. She plays the Disney World parent where she just buys him shit instead of giving him time. Whereas I don't give him things. Things are perishable. I give him wisdom. I give him intellect. I give him the things that a man can give to a son. Whereas all she can do is buy stuff. You know, one of them is going to stick to it. And, you know, ultimately my son is going to be smart enough, and he already is coming around very much so in his adolescence to understand what the manipulation is and when it is and how it is. You know, because I've been pulled back.
He's a little older. How old was he when you heard divorce?
He was 4 when we.
Oh man, damn.
Yeah, he was really young, and he's 11 now. So I mean, we've been. Actually, no, he was younger than that. He was 2. Yeah, he was 2 when we divorced. It's been so long. It's been so nice.
Yeah.
No, but he was 2 when we got a divorce, and basically I've stepped up as a parent, and so there's not much she can say about it. You know, I'm about to have a conversation with her in regards to the ADHD medicine that she's put him on, and he's actually requesting that he be taken off of it and put on to something else. Well, I know herbs and stuff, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I already started him on it because that's good for the
that
brain.
That right there, Tim. I want to intervene in that because she was trying that with my son. They had already scheduled the meeting with the principal, the counselor, the teacher, and say, I think he's a little hyper. And I asked her, what the hell is going on? And she said, he's going to have a meeting today. I said, what kind of meeting? She said, no, they just want to evaluate him. And then I went there and I checked this out. I said, man, I'm not signing this shit. My son's not getting on this. I don't agree to this. Yeah. And it was at that point, I was like, no, you and I, we're going to court. We're going to settle this in court because you are a threat and you're a danger to these children. These children don't need to be with you, man, for a damn check, man. Are you kidding?
Right. And that's the thing, like with my situation, it's gotten to the point where he's lost his appetite because of that's what meth does, you know. And I tell him straight out, I say, yes, this is a toxin, this is a poison, this is what it does, this is where it's from. You know, I don't hold much back from him because he is a young man, and he does need to understand that there are some people that, you know, don't always make the right decisions that are in charge of him, and he needs to step up as a young man and say, hey, this needs to stop. And that's really I'm actually going to be having that conversation with his mom very shortly, with school ending and everything like that. There's herbs that can do the same thing. There's chiropractors that can do the same thing as that methamphetamine that she's trying to pump him down with. And you know, she can argue with me all she wants, but she can't argue with the law, and she cannot argue with peer-reviewed studies. You know, if she's going to say, well, I'm going to believe the doctor, you got to believe all the doctors then, right?
Yeah, that right there is crazy because there's how many patients have any of these psych doctors ever cured? Not one. Not one.
None.
A person that gets on medication is generally on that medication for the remainder of their life because they don't heal them. You know, and when you come off of that stuff, you have to ease them off of it. because
every third day.
Instantly they hallucinate. It becomes a hallucinogenic, you know, and they hallucinate. That's what causes people to go and shoot up theaters. They just go off of it cold chunky.
For my son, it's every third day that he's here. We always go through a breakdown, and I boost him up with I've been using ashwagandha for him to ease him off of that, because I mean, I have him for a week, then she has him for a week, and luckily school's ending, so she doesn't really give him that during the school year or during the summer. But basically, after he says it, there's not much she can say. You know, I mean, that's him requesting for his own health and wellness. And
Right.
I've done enough research. I mean, that kid, if he gets a bellyache, he calls me and says, "What do I take?" And I tell him, you know, eat some sauerkraut, eat, you know, some yogurt, get your gut health back. And, you know, I tell him what the Most High would tell you, you know, or what the Most High has told him. The thing that I really realize is in Revelation, where it talks about the pharmakeia and the government of the day coming together to basically to destroy the people. And if you really see what's going on, they've been working at it for a very long time. And there's your scriptural background. You know, I mean, that one verse is the synopsis for what's been going on in our public schools for almost 2 decades now.
Yeah. I would I homeschool. Once I got custody, I immediately started homeschooling. You know, some of the herbs that's good for so-called mental disorders, the Calmine that Dr. Sabi suggested to drink, that's a good one. Kava is another one that's pretty good. The valerian root, what was that?
Maca root is known throughout history to be the brain food.
Yeah, valerian root is also effective on mental disorders and people that have sleep problems. Valerian root is pretty good. Ginseng's supposed to be able to affect that. And that the ginkgo you was talking about, Tim.
Yep.
That's supposed to be effective towards that as well.
Yeah, I gave him like about 5 or 6 different herbs while he's at my house, and he sleeps better. He doesn't have problems with his appetite. He's conscientiously aware at school. You know, all of the things that they claim to be wrong with him all of a sudden magically disappear. And not only that, but I'm about when he comes back to my house, he's going to be going to my chiropractor, and they're going to crack his bones so that he's in alignment. Just like everything else, when you're put in alignment, what happens? Things start happening, you know, like, and so there's not much argument that she can put up against. And I've been really seeking out, you know, the Most High's wisdom on this, and this is the end result so far, that he has requested that he be taken off of this stuff. You know, so obviously, if you don't believe in the power of prayer, you're a moron.
Right. Rubio, go ahead. What do you have? I know you're at work. Rubio. Unmute yourself. How do you pronounce it again, Dwayne?
Ignacio.
Ignacio. Ignacio. Somebody put a key in the Ignacio. Ignacio, unmute yourself.
Hey, brother, give me just a moment. I'm here at work. Give me a sec.
All right.
Quick question. I know there's a lot of really wise brothers out there. Any chance that we could do a live stream on different things like different herbs that we all take, so that we can get a baseline across the boards. You know, do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. We done one of those. When did we do that, Yashabin? About a year ago? Oh yeah, we could do another one of those. We done that. I've done a couple herbal videos during that damn so-called pandemic.
Yeah.
I literally held them all up to the screen.
I just think that if we get some of these simps a little bit of their testosterone back, all of a sudden some things might start changing for them because of the nature of what testosterone does in your body. And with all the soy boys out there, all of a sudden they get some testosterone. There's going to be some change, period.
Yeah. Trovely, come on in the room. Trovely, come on in the room. Seems like you're dropping a little wisdom over there. Come on in the room. Trov Lee, I believe you pronounced that way. Yeah, man. Joel Elder. We got the younger and the elder. Anyone else? Is there no one else? Are you not entertained? Synthetic chemical attacks the mind and brain. Yep, it's exactly what those psych drugs do, man. It literally creates a chemical imbalance.
Yeah, anyone who has been coming off of or wants to start weaning themselves away from psych drugs or a lower level of testosterone definitely need to get up on that video that we did last year on the herbs and the roots, as well as that ginkgo that Tazadaq put out, the ashwagandha that Tim mentioned, that maca, I believe it's between maca and fenugreek. For men, you can't, we can eat as much as that as we want to, but for a man, that fenugreek and the maca combination is actually a natural hormone balancer. It doesn't happen overnight. Oh, also disclaimer, not a medical professional. I'm not certified of any kind of title. I'm only speaking on what I have firsthand knowledge of, what worked, and what has happened, for me and other folks that I've helped. So this is how I know about this. Fenugreek and maca is a natural hormone balancer for men. Maca, red clove, not as much fenugreek. I think the woman should only supposed to take like half of the dose that a man takes, and then same with that ashwagandha and the suma root. It does help balance out your chemical and your hormonal makeup. It is not it doesn't fix everything, but it does help start certain processes, especially if you have a trashy type diet and you're working on changing that.
Another thing that I've helped works with what you're talking about very much so is adding blood flow. So your garlic, your chestnut root, your pine bark, and your vitamin C, put those four together in combination with that. It's unbeatable. Anyways, I apologize. I get lost in herbs. You guys talk about my jam and I get all hyped up, so I don't mean to take out of the conversation.
In the voice of Yashabin, it is all well. It is all well.
Okay, so you're using my phrase, but that is not my voice. That is.
Say you.
That's Raymond. That's Raymond's voice on my
Say
line.
you.
That's Raymond's voice on my line.
That sound like Raymond.
Okay, so Trove Lee is a woman.
Her husband's there now. She can have her
Listening to
husband come on.
All right, well, yeah, Trove Lee, have your husband come on. We got the younger, so let the elder come on. Joel.
Raymond Smith, he's somewhere locked in Simpsonville, still in his emotions. There's nothing wrong with an old simp, man. Nothing worse. There's really no the only thing you can really give them AB is probably valerian root, but B.P.D cannot be treated with drugs. Usually that's treated with dialectical therapy, cognitive therapy, and in those group meetings. But the thing about those, the B.P.D, they end up sleeping with another B.P.D at the group therapy. They end up having sex with one of them. And usually the instructor could possibly be a recovering B.P.D. The best medication for a B.P.D is separation, because they have to make an effort to want to change. You can't change them. You can't save them. They have to make that effort themselves. And that's the triple truth, Ruth. Don't save her. She doesn't want to be saved. Is there anyone else? Before we shut this thing down, 3 hours and 58 minutes. I thought this would be an hour. Well, looks like there's no one else, Yashapi. I guess it's time to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
There's
Don't
really
fall. Don't fall in the trap for that WAP.
Please.
Don't let the WAP trap you.
Yeah, because if you do, you're going to hit with the B.P.D's boom back. And then Yashabim's going to give you a slap.
You slap. Don't fall trap in the WAP. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Peace out, y'all.
Shalom. Shalom.